works out. It's gonna be.
We're allegedly live.
Alright.
We will want to make sure that we speak reasonably well, but I can pick stuff up pretty
Yeah, I
good.
think it
They'll hear us.
First live.
What is it's live on RBS's stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll just publish it to yours after as well.
Yeah, that's fine. Alright, you guys ready? Finally? Let's do it. I'm gonna go ahead. What I'm gonna do is play the intro and then we're gonna start the conversation.
Behind the scenes over there, Cam.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. I'm getting ear raped over here.
watch stuff happening here and keep an eye on there too.
Keeping the cast.
That's on my phone.
Oh,
We can't both there. You can see.
Alright, guys, welcome back to the podcast. Loaded today. We have plenty of people here to talk all sorts of tub stuff. It's so interesting and fun. First things first, we have Patrick here from Refinished Bath Solutions. And we have Joshua from JM Multi-Surface Pros.
Yep.
We have Jonathan from PSG and from Bathtub Guys.
So
We have me the best for last, obviously. Daniel. So,
There's a couple of you guys now.
yeah. But we're also live right now on Instagram Live on RBS's channel. So
YouTube live.
on YouTube. Oh, there you go. And so that's fun. So anybody who's watching, this is like the first time we're doing
a live drop.
a live drop. Yeah, it's cool. And it's totally impromptu. If you guys see what's holding that camera right now, you're gonna judge us heavy.
It's a
But
professional setup.
yeah, it's
I
fun.
swear.
Half-hour ghetto hack setup.
Yeah.
We got it. We're here,
Yeah.
right?
But
We're in Florida.
I'm excited to have everybody together. I mean, it's Joshua's first time. Patrick did it remote, but it's his
This
first
is your
time.
first
live.
time? Oh, I swear you did an episode before.
No, he didn't, man. We,
Yeah, this must be weird, right?
yeah.
It's cool. The first time is always a little weird.
It is, but you know, it's fun, and we always just have a good conversation.
Yeah.
In particular, I want to talk to with Joshua a little bit about the product and what he thought of it, being that, I mean, he just used it for the first time the other day on that live with the company that should not be named and their whole situation.
Yeah.
I got a cease and desist for that, so that's fun. But how did it go with the product? What's your experience so far as somebody who had never really rolled on like a tub coating? And yeah, just feedback. What do you think?
So like Daniel said, my name is Josh from JM Multi-Service. And to be honest, I think it's actually a pretty cool experience. One thing that I will say from the start, obviously I won't name names just to be safe. When I first started, I was using a product locally here, and then I tried using a product from up north. Now, when I started using that product, it was something that you could tell once you spray the thickness of it. You know what I'm saying? Where the first one I was using, it was thinner, and when you spray, like you could see the film buildup, it was thinner. And when I put the second coating, it was a thicker. Like it's just a feeling that you get. It's like this product is thicker. With this roll-on, it was exactly like that. As soon as you start, you be like, oh, you're kind of skeptical, obviously, because I come from the spraying industry where I'm spraying. So obviously we come with, is this really gonna work? You know, is this really gonna help up like they say? So once I started the process, it's cool. I'm gonna talk like this first. It's cool because that was Thursday. I did 7 shower pens Thursday, and 7 shower pens Friday. Friday when I went to check the first one, because obviously remember, I'm a spray guy. So obviously I'm gonna come back and I'll be like, is this really what they're saying? You know, so I went back and you touch it and it's just like that. You touch it and it's something in the product that you can feel how thick it is, and you're like, damn, I could drop anything in this and it's not gonna break.
It doesn't feel like a film over the tub. It feels like a coating.
Yeah, like it's something. It's something
It
there.
feels like the actual tub.
Yeah, it feels tough. Like you touch it, like I said, I spray, so we spray, and when you touch it, you get that smooth feeling, but that's what it is. You know, it's just a smooth feeling, and you don't feel any buildup. With this coating, I had to cutting around and stuff. I've accidentally dropped the knife in there, and it was like, yeah, I could probably drop this knife 30,000 times, and it's never gonna do this.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, the screen
Can I ask you
So it was something you start, as soon as you start working with it, you could already tell the durability of it. And this is not even, I haven't done any tests on it, I'm not part of that, but me using it and seeing afterwards, being able to go the second day, I could already tell like this thing holds up. Now the process while doing it, it's super simple. What I was actually doing is I was actually prepping all 7 tubs. I went through with my little drill, the tape, alcohol, I did all of them. And then I went back and did all of them. I found it was easier that way because with the measurements I sent Daniel, you could get about 3-4 tubs with the spray, with the primer, and then come back and still be within those time frames. So it's easier from the production aspect because you don't have to do one, then go to the next one, come back the next, go to another one. You can do multiple ones as long as you have them already prepped.
You're turning it into an assembly line.
And you save so much more on rollers doing it that way because imagine you have to do 1 roller per primer per coat. So if you're doing 2 coats of primer, that's 2 rollers. If you're doing 2 coats of the base, the coat, that's 2. Now when you're doing it, treating it as a production line, now 1 roller gave me enough to do 2 coats of the primer for 3. So you're essentially doing 6 coats with 1 roller. So I was able to learn that very quickly. The product, I feel like the primer, it's more solidified. It's a little bit harder to get it kind of where you want it to go, but it's nothing too crazy. You still put with the brush, and it still does its thing, kind of levels out. But now I was super impressed when it came to the base coat because even though it's thicker, it does whatever you want it to do. You brush it and it's like smooth. You don't even. It's crazy because I was showing Daniel, and I did the front portion of the shower pan with just a brush, and it looked like it was raw. Like it didn't leave no brush marks, no anything. So the product itself being, the first time I used it, I thought I was gonna have way more problems using it. The biggest thing is knowing your numbers, knowing your math, and as long as you have a phone, it's nothing from another world. You use your calculator. If you have to multiply, you have to divide, whatever it is, and you figure all that out. The applying portion of it is the easiest thing, man. It's the easiest thing.
I feel like the hardest part of the entire thing is breaking your own mentality. Like as a former spray guy, we're all out there and we're like, well, it's not gonna work, or I know what I'm doing, I'm just gonna do what I do, and it's gonna be harder for me to try to figure this all out. But the second you roll 1 wall, you're like, why am I carrying all this stuff up? Why am I killing myself?
It's almost too
extra
easy.
work.
It's like it's almost too easy, and that's like the part where like a lot of guys struggle with it. Is like, damn, like I'm over here, like I learned the skill, and it's not, but like this almost is like so easy that like anyone can do it. It almost feels wrong being that easy.
I feel like it hurts people's egos.
It does.
Because now, for example, me, let's say I've been spraying for under 2 years. So now he has a sprayer, I'm like, bro, like I went all in spraying. Like I taught myself how to do this. I put all this time into learning how to spray to get the finish that I do. Now comes this product where now it's telling me I don't need all this skill that it took me 2 years to build up. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think so many people are against it, because now they're put into the position to where, what am I worth now? You know what I'm saying?
You want to know why they're afraid though? And it goes a little deeper than that. In my opinion, a lot of them are afraid because if a product is too easy to apply, then people will just do it themselves. And the funny thing is, me and Patrick have had this conversation a million times. The DIY customer is not the same as the customer that calls in a service. People with money will just throw the money at the problem to solve it right the first time. If you are pricing yourself too close to a DIY like pricing, like you're gonna lose to that product, because the people who are on a tight budget do shit themselves. Like I've always said it, but like when I was broke, I was a plumber. I was a fucking carpenter. I'd figure it out. Like, but now, like, you know, I'm doing a little bit better. I'm just like, I am not gonna sit there and mess with the toilet. I'm not gonna sit there and mess with electrical. Like, at the end of the day, you know, you need to make sure that you brand yourself as a premium service that people are gonna want to use when it's time for them to throw money at a problem. And I think that that's one of the biggest things is that guys are afraid that it's gonna be too easy. And we've seen it in the group. I mean, some guys literally have talked about this product in particular, and Ekopel, and said like, you know, oh, I thought this was gonna be, you know, a nail in the foot of the refinisher, like, you know, because one person prepped it wrong and it failed. It's like, well, like
Instead, it's bringing awareness to the space.
Exactly.
Bro, anyone can go to Home Depot and go buy paint.
100%.
You can go to Walmart and buy paint for $9.99, like just to paint your walls, right? But like anyone has the ability to paint their walls. Anyone has the ability to do that.
Well, and anybody can buy products from these people
But how are you
too.
gonna do that?
Yeah.
That's
You want
The other part of
it,
the
you want it
value.
done right.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, the other part of the value of what you're saying with the experience is like, it's not just the spraying. Like a really good tech, he knows how to prep, he knows how to make repairs, he knows how to, you know, install inlays. This is just, took one aspect out of the professional refinisher's like specialty, but we know like a really good tech knows how to properly prep a surface so that the shit lasts.
That's what makes you a pro though.
Exactly.
In real life, like before we all started working together, we were offering trainings to anyone that wanted to jump on. We were considering becoming just like all the others in the space, as opposed to going our own road that we're going now. And the plan was, you know, we'll train new guys, we'll train existing companies, we'll do whatever. But the training was for a complete rookie. It was 1 to 2 days. And day one, hour 3 or 4, when I was training the guys, I'm putting the spray gun in your hand and then I'm leaving the room because I don't need to teach you anything.
Yeah.
Even if you've never held a spray gun in your life, once I show you what the buttons do, you just do it. It's easy. That's not the skill that you're learning with like an experienced guy. Any Joe can hold the button. With your thing, it's different because your eyes are going to be all foggy and all this. But with our product, anyone can do it. I can give my kid the spray gun and he'll be able to do it. But will he be able to do a huge crack repair or a chip repair or be able to give the customer peace of mind that a professional that does this every day did it and stands behind their work? That's what you're paying for. You know, they run around like it's a very common phrase in every trade and service, but you get what you pay for, and you're not paying for my time. You're paying for my experience, and you're paying for the surety that if something goes wrong, we're coming back to fix it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like I always like one time when I first started and I was like broke, a pipe burst in my house. Like I shut the water off, I cut the pipe. I spent freaking 10 hours on YouTube figuring out how to do it because I couldn't but if I'm in the position I'm in now, I'm just calling someone. I'm not gonna sit there and try to do it myself. It's like, yeah, all the stuff is accessible, but the professional coatings are also accessible. Like, okay, like for example,
You can go on Napco and buy
and
whatever
just
you
buy,
want.
yeah. You can go on Top Coat too and just buy. So, and that's, again, I always say this too, it's like, just because you're using that coating doesn't automatically mean it's gonna be good. And you want proof of that? Why does no paint manufacturer offer a warranty? Because it's not up to the paint to make it stick and adhere and a warranty.
Well, that's your problem.
It's your problem, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're not taking anything away, and ease of use is just gonna help the technicians.
Right.
And in this case, the health and everything, because as you saw, the stuff doesn't smell. Like, you can roll that stuff without a mask and you're fine.
I did all 14.
Yep.
There's tons and tons of painting companies. They outnumber bathtub refinishing companies probably 50 to 1.
Yeah.
The amount of house painters, interior, exterior, all this. But they sell paint for $9.99 at Walmart. You can definitely paint your entire room, probably a hack job, as a DIY, for probably less than $50 today. You can also go to Sherwin-Williams and pay $150 a gallon for Emerald and buy the top of the line Worcester brushes and all this, and you can probably do a much better job in your room for, I mean, $500.
Yeah.
Or you can pay a pro to do it $300 to $1,200. This is gonna be just whatever it is. But like literally, when I got off the plane here yesterday, I had a call scheduled with a major property manager. They're national. They have 600 properties that have more than 500 each. I had somebody that called them, and he sent them our STS sheet saying they were gonna spray them with Tubcast, Ekopel Tubcast, because I sent them a sample in August. This is a property that has 600 apartments, and the company itself called and said, hey, if this company goes out of business in the next 3 years, are you gonna honor the warranty that they did? I said, honestly, I have to be really honest with you. I don't know the person that told you they're using the product. We're only doing it ourselves, or people that are approved in our network for professional applications. And the facilities manager for the whole country was like, I get stuff like that a lot. I'd rather work with you directly if I can. They want the product, but somebody that's not even using it told them that. And I asked him specifically, I said, well, do you have maintenance guys that can do it at all these places? Because it's a market that we don't currently have. Or would you rather do like bulk work and have us come out and do 50 or 100 at a time? And he said, we have no interest whatsoever in paying 20% of what it would cost to hire a pro and doing it ourselves, because in the entire country, not a single one of our locations is staffed well enough that we do any paint work, we don't do any plumbing. All of our maintenance guys supervise subcontractors. So in all 600 apartments, all 30,000 doors, they do not do work on a single one that they don't hire outside work. So there are tons of tubs that need to be done, but they're not interested in doing it themselves. And they're a real customer, right?
Wow.
I mean, if you can go in and get 1,000 apartment doors in an area and get 10 a month, that pays all your bills, just 10. And then all the residentials, all the other apartments, those are all how you get paid in this space. But you need that one like lockdown customer that pays all your bills,
All the time, yeah.
and then you get that super peace of mind. So the best companies want it. The best companies are willing to pay for it. There's nothing to worry about in this space about Rust-Oleum pushing you off or some Chinese roll-on kit pushing you out.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, they're giving you more work from previously finished garbage jobs. And when it comes to like you getting more work and stuff, the notoriety that comes from everyone talking about all this stuff, your videos are pushing sales back to where they were a couple of years ago. Like, we crushed it on DIY front, but the more DIY customers, the more pro jobs. It's just spreading awareness of refinishing. I'm ignorant because I really thought everyone in the world knew like what this was, because that's what I did.
Yeah.
And running into property managers that are like, what's that? Like,
Every day.
you are just joking, right? Like, you're a property manager, you should know.
You just made up a good point that
Oh, I don't know.
we started on the paint, but people wondering about the management structure stuff. Like, you got Pat over here at RBS. If he just talked to a 600 600 apartments that this
That's
property management.
one building.
Okay.
They have
Property, 600
30,000 doors.
You have like RBS networking on the behalf, like if you join the team, like, oh yeah, we got this property in North Carolina and you own the North Carolina location. It's like you have leverage coming from that side of the industry as well, from the manufacturing side.
Like on that front, there was one big follow-up for that. I don't care how we sell our material. I want our material to be in every refinisher's hands, every DIYer's hands. I mean, I'm a material manufacturer. I've invested in working with you guys as well. This is a great partnership. I don't have a problem with how things get done. I just want them done healthy. I want them done right, and our material does that. But when like apartment managers do call us and ask, why should I pay when we, like, if we could do it ourselves? The reason you should pay is because you're going to get a warranty by a nationally recognized company. Like, we're trying to work with Greystar, we're trying to work with BlackRock, we're trying to be in every Marriott and all the major players. But they don't want to work with one guy. They want to work like this place. They have 30,000 doors, and they're probably a completely unheard of, property manager.
Yeah.
And that means like all the big ones are gonna want it too, and they're in the same boat, right?
Yep.
But they're calling me to say, this company that's been around for 13 years, I'm worried that in the next 3 years they're gonna close their doors. Will you honor the warranty that this company that's been around for 13 years in New York City, I don't trust that they're gonna exist in 3 years? Like, who says that?
Yeah.
But they're worried about that. So, that's why we're promoting that's why we're pushing the agenda of all being on the same team. Whether we're authorized installers that run our own business and Bathtub guys just add your location as subs, whether we're doing it as a management and we're running your whole business and booking all your jobs, it's so much easier for us to build trust across the country. That's why they who were named nameless have any recognition whatsoever, is because if somebody in Boston has a problem, they call corporate, and then corporate says fix it or we'll find somebody to replace you that will.
Yeah, a chain of accountability is like at the end of the day.
Protection.
Yeah, it's why big companies like working with other bigger companies. Realistically, it's just there's someone to be accountable.
It's accountability.
And there's guys who have been one-man shows for 14, 15 years. It doesn't really mean much just how long you've been in business. It's like, how much do you have to lose? Because when there's things on the line, then, that they take that into account. It's like they're not gonna want to damage their reputation, because it's not just Joe's Refinishing. It's, a company that employs 15, 20, 30 people. You know what I mean? So I totally agree with that. We gotta hit those people up, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's what.
Somebody sold Tubcast? that
No,
has access to it?
No, he's telling people that's what I use.
Oh, okay.
He's
gotcha.
not
But he's not actually
Yeah,
using
it was
It's
a
so funny.
it was a project bid.
Yeah.
He bid on the job and said, "Hey,
Ballsy.
will I win the job if I use something with no smell?" Yeah, I have something with no smell.
That's great.
Figuring out, he'll just call
Yeah.
we'll do it now and then we'll
Yeah,
get somebody.
yeah,
It's a bold move.
It is bold.
He'd be great to get added to the network, I'm sure.
Yeah, we gotta find him.
One more thing before we go on. Can somebody pull the stream up on their phone just in case anybody writes in?
Okay,
Yeah, if
I'll write
anybody
down.
that's on the stream, if you have any questions or anything.
Yeah, it's a good time to talk about
Yeah,
it.
if anybody sees them, just call it up.
But
I'll try to shut up now.
I think it's interesting that people, I would have never thought, and now we're getting more insight into the material side, right? Because we have the guy who's in the manufacturing. I would have never thought that the complexes would go and reach out directly to the people making it.
Yeah. That's
it-
impressive.
it
I've
make-
never seen that.
But it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, because, again, who are you gonna trust? Some guy who just is installing it, or the people who make it, who, in other industries, most of the time, the people who make it have a team of installers, or people they trust who are you're part of the network, and you're an authorized installer of it. A lot of the times, I could see that working as a way to build this up, but I would have never thought before that they would be hitting him up directly, right? And it makes you think how many of these other companies get direct inquiries to work directly with them and just F all the refinishers.
We have all of our military buyers, they buy from us for the bases, and they have
Guys do
low
it.
rank and maintenance guys go out and do it.
Wow.
And in a lot of cases that makes more sense for military especially. unless, you're a small business that is veteran owned or something. Where, like, I've worked in some of the bases, and when you work there, you have to do all the background checks, you've
Yeah.
gotta get your car searched, and you're bringing in chemicals too.
Yeah,
Military
for real.
base. Like, I've done it, it's been a huge pain in the ass for me.
Okay.
But like, for them, it might make more sense for them to just have their guys do it, and we have to respect that. However, on the opposite side of that, like I have a huge contract where I saw, like, my biggest customer is one of those national, one of the national, BlackRock style,
Chains.
apartment owners.
Mhm.
They buy them, they do them themselves, they don't really wanna hire anybody. They've made it part of their policy that, they just have their own little videos they made. But, places like that, I still say to that, like, I've had them ask me, they're like, well, we spend $500,000 a year with you guys. How can we get a warranty on these jobs? It's like, you can pay a professional to go in and do it. I can't trust that the guy that's hungover from last night did a good job.
Yeah.
If my guy is hungover from last night and does a bad job, he's gonna go fix it. And if he does it too many times, he's no longer gonna work with us. But I can protect you if you pay me to protect you by hiring my team. But I can't trust that some wonky maintenance guy hanging out in the back is doing a good job, right? So that's what I tell these places. We get now a lot of the motels where we're promoting into the hollow places you'd never be able to work.
Yeah.
How are you gonna do a tub? How are you gonna spray a tub for $250?
You can.
Like, and they're gonna say, well, if you can't do it for that much.
The sad part is that in our industry, they will find someone that does it that cheap.
But then they'll have to call
But
you in
then
6
they'll have
months
to
to
call
do it.
again, and that's why we get a bad rep, because there is a Joe doing it for $180 a tub. But then after a week, 2 weeks, because we were in the job, and that shower pan was done, and in 2 weeks, I believe the guy said, it was peeling already.
Yeah, because they just go to Home
Yeah,
Depot
for
and
the
get
demo,
what they
after
can.
2 weeks,
Which was
it
like-
already peeling.
That was like my whole point, which is like, when a big company's doing it, it's like, you make the whole industry look bad. And I get why people got offended that I named them, but it's like, if they're doing it and they're the big one, when they look at you, the little dog, they're gonna be like, oh no, there ain't no way you're doing anything legit. It's just-
We can cut this from the actual podcast, but in the live on my channel, I'll say it. I don't care about Miracle Method. I think that we're gonna turn them into Blockbuster. I think if they wanna send me notices, I'm gonna publish the notices and say, look at these guys, they're scared.
And me being a new
I'm not gonna
finisher-
cut it because I
You
didn't
didn't
say
say
it.
it. You didn't
That
say
wasn't
it.
me.
But see, me being a newer finisher, that's what I'm most surprised about this coating. Yeah, don't get me wrong, the durability is insane. But the reason I think you guys are getting so much hate is because you guys are going to be able to do or aiming to do what only one company has ever done. They've never had anybody step on their toes and
Don't
try
get it
to,
wrong,
you know
they
what I'm
are the
saying?
best.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't mean
seeing
quality.
you guys having that vision, and they're seeing you guys as the ones that could touch the toes. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? You guys are not just gonna get there to touch the toe. You guys are, you know what I'm saying? You guys are building something, and that's why I feel like you guys are getting a lot of hate because a lot of refinishers never had that vision. They probably think, oh, for the next 30 years, our industry is gonna be where it's at.
I've had guys ask me, couldn't you just make so much more money selling it? That was the original, like, Patrick was like, hey, help promo it and we'll push it, and but I, like, the thing is, and I tell them this and they're all like, oh, I don't know, but I'm like, dude, it's not about selling material, right? That company built an empire off of a bonding agent.
Yeah.
Like, and we have an actual proprietary coating system that is way more durable than anything being used on the market. Like,
it would have been dumb just to sell it.
It would
been,
exactly.
It would have been
It
dumb.
would have been dumb just to sell it because now you're letting ABC refinishers, like, number one, do it wrong and mess up the reputation of the product and put that at risk. But also, you're not taking advantage of the fact that you have something that no one else has. And I think in our case, controlling the market in the beginning, and it's not just to get rich or whatever, it's to actually give these people competition, because as you just very well saw, the type of BS that these kinds of companies are turning in out there, and they get away with it, they're making the whole, like again, they're making the whole industry look bad. So they need a real competitor. They need to have pressure put on them.
And what I see, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's
There
nothing wrong
should
with
be
that.
more, in my opinion, there should be more companies
Mhm.
that can stand up to that level. Why? Because it's only gonna help every other refinisher. If you guys start building a good reputation to refinishers, now this is a way that people, see the positive. The industry as itself, as refinishing, it's gonna get a better name for it.
Yeah.
So now other companies, like for example, other apartment complex, they're gonna know, oh wait, that does exist.
Yep.
Back to refinishing is a thing. Now, because I come from the apartment world, I do apartment complex where we paint, we do a little bit of everything. And you're right, a lot of these people don't know what these stuff are. And with that comes, they don't know what price they have to pay for that good quality. So obviously, they're always trying to get the lowest end, the lowest price, because at the end, remember, they're getting a bonus for whatever they save. They have a budget, and the more they can save, the more that goes back to them. But now, if they are aware of bathtub refinishing, they're aware of the product, they're aware of the system, they're aware, hey, to get a bathtub that will last, whatever we're claiming it'll last, 5, 7 years, 20 years, this process has to be done, and there's a price for this process. Let's say, let's just throw out a number, it's 300. They're going to be more willing to pay that 300 because they know what it takes to get something good. Right now, they don't know any of that. So they're just looking to whoever's gonna do it the cheapest and last the longest.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that, and I want to touch on that. I'm going to keep this one around 30 minutes and start a new one, and we'll just keep it from there. That way it's a little bit more easy for people to watch them. But I'm going to talk about something that I in the next one where it kind of plays off of that, and it's really that people think that this industry is a scam, and we're going to talk about why that is on the next one. We're going to go ahead and end it here for this one, for this segment, and we'll pick it up on the next one, guys. So, bye.
We're still live with you guys.
Yeah, I just shared the live link on our Instagram.
Yeah.
For his YouTube channel.
Okay.
Nice.
That way, anyone who's checking their story right now will stumble upon it. I was thinking I could put my phone out there and stream from Bathtub, guys.
Yeah,
Instagram
do it
live.
Yeah,
Let's
come on.
go everything live.
I bought 2 of
Or
those Charlie
just wanna log into
D'Amelio
Instagram on my.
selfie lights.
You're logged in still on
I'm
my
doing
tab.
TikTok and Instagram and
stream
YouTube.
Live streaming right now on this one. We got 3 viewers right now live. I'm not sure who they are though. It doesn't show me. Let's see. No, just 2.
It does. It only shows on Instagram and TikTok.
Yahoo. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already on.
Yeah, I had DoorDash bring me a couple of the selfie light things.
Okay.
They come with phone hangers. That's perfect. We have another one. Can we jump on another one too?
Another phone?
If we do it on TikTok too. We're on
I have this one, but we have to log into whatever account.
Right.
So
I don't know if I know the login, but I'll try to log in.
Might as well.
Full name on the live.
we're going live, baby. On
You monitor-
17 different lives right
Oh,
now.
but we need some way to monitor the
Oh,
live.
put it
chat.
vertical, John.
You can use
Oh
this
yeah,
one.
you're right.
Put it for,
If you want, you can use this. Which one is that one?
it's on Bathtub, guys.
So I
You
go
can get
on
everything. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
if they're gonna
So
watch it,
open
they can
this
hold it
one.
sideways, right? Oh, you can't read the comments, huh?
I can open this one.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, they just can't see everybody, but
That's fine.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's close
So
enough.
this
right
one
there.
is like, I got 69, so it should.
What's up, guys? We're going live. We're shooting a podcast right now. We're in a little bit of a break.
So you can keep that one around there. You can see who's commenting, who's doing everything.
Okay. You want to monitor the live, just in case someone comments and stuff?
Yep.
That's Josh's. We just got every freaking device connected to something right now.
Next time, yeah, if we do it again with Victor, when he comes down, I'll have the girls.
DB Cooper on YouTube just asked, do they have tub covering for car wraps? I mean, technically, you could put tub cast on a car.
Honestly, I completely forgot about this. It was a while ago, but
Uh-huh.
somebody that works in movie props
Mm-hmm.
was using Ekopel. He saw my Ekopel countertop videos.
Mm-hmm.
He made some car in one of the Fast and the Furious movies. He made one of them with one of the designs with
Oh,
it. Yeah.
nice.
That's cool. What the
That's
heck?
what I was
I
gonna
don't
ask.
know. It was a while ago.
If you guys had any vision of expanding just rather than bathtub coatings, like there's so much, I guess just because of the durability, I'm
No.
guessing there's a lot of people wanting to be
Nothing
like,
like
oh,
a
how can I
car
get
wrap.
that to my industry, you know what I'm saying?
Things are different, but like
Yeah, I don't know, bro. It's not really.
the
what I'm
material
saying.
that we have coming in like a week and a half
We have a-
is a
They have a
special
better follower.
polyspartic material that will be much better to use in an outside situation or a countertop situation that gets more more exterior light.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Duct
it'll,
stuff and
like,
cleaning stuff.
eventually the sun beats stuff up no
Yeah.
matter what. We have other solutions we're working on, but in your space specifically, this would be something that would be good for like cabinets too. This stuff's gonna be expensive, but this is gonna be like a lifetime
warranty.
material, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, we
Stone
should-
Coat is selling a cabinet paint now,
Yeah,
with like a self-level roll-on paint. I never saw that.
they're trying to be progressive. They're working on it.
Yeah. Well,
They'll catch up.
stuff kind of took a nosedive when he left.
They make some cool products. I like those guys.
I like.
They're just not as usual. Like we make something that you can replicate every time. They're very creative. Like some things you can do easy, some things are too creative. It's if you've ever like spent time working at like a car dealer or anybody that's there, they're like, don't show somebody something that they can't have, because that's the thing they're gonna want.
You can't reproduce, you don't want something that you
Yeah.
can't reproduce.
That's what they taught me. Like my first, like I did car sales for like a month. And they were like, don't let him check out the Corvette because he's not going to buy the Toyota Corolla after he drives the fucking Corvette. This is not gonna happen. How, you can't show him a fully loaded vehicle that's way out of his price range. You're gonna get him too excited and then he hates you.
Yeah, because he's like, damn, I'm gonna have to buy this piece of crap. I don't
Yeah,
wanna
so
go
we
to-
have a comment from someone that's talking about how when they DIY, they mess their tub up. So I think, you know, like, that's goes to what you were saying. There is a market. It doesn't matter how easy you make the material. There's just some people who don't get it or just don't have the patience for it.
If you use the pour on is definitely a DIY product. I wouldn't suggest that for a pro, but things go wrong.
Yeah.
And in the case, I didn't see the exact comment, but the point of it was basically like if something went wrong, we still stand behind what we do. Like, you can very simply call in and we'll try to help you. We have one coat roll-on touch-up kits. If you got tons of drips in your pour-on process or something, sand them down smooth and roll a coat. Pretty straightforward.
You guys ready to jump back in?
Yep.
Alright.
I have a question that I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
We'll start it with a question.
Everyone's getting behind the scenes stuff.
You give him the headphones because it's a whole different experience when you have the headphones.
I
on.
know.
I'll switch seats with you in an hour and this.
It's different when you can hear yourself talking. Yeah.
Alright guys, we're back. I got the same panel here as last time. But we are continuing. There's some people live, we have live going on in like 3 different sections. Patrick, you had a question for Joshua.
Yeah, I meant to ask in the first segment, but so you did 7 shower pans 2 days in a row, 7 each day. What I wanted to ask you was, I know you rolled those ones on. If the job was booked as a spray job, would you have still done 7? Was it slower, faster? Like how would you have spread out your day if you were spraying them instead?
I think, to be honest, I think I pretty much would have done it the same way.
Yep.
Me, because I like to say I have a different, I try to keep a different mentality. A regular person would have done 1 each.
Yeah.
I always try to get, what's the best. That's what I prepped 7. I rolled on the primer on whatever the primer let me, not what I wanted, because the first thing that Jonathan told me was you have to kind of let the product talk to you. If you're gonna be able to put another coat on another one, or if the primer's gonna start to tack up, or if the top coat's gonna start to tack up. So in the process between spraying, I think I would have done the same way. Me personally, I would have prepped all 7.
Yeah.
I would have mixed enough spray to, and this is unrealistic, and I tell you why. I would have mixed primer enough to do whatever I can, so I'll do every whole coat.
Yep.
The difference that this allows you is that when I was going from room to room, mind you, this is the same floor, but I had 6 in one floor and 8 in the other one. What this product allows you is from when you're moving from room to room, you don't have to take anything. All I had was a tray, the roller, and the brush.
Yep.
So from going from one room to the next, that was all I carried.
Yep.
Now, at the beginning, obviously, when you're learning, you still got that, and it's not even a learning curve on the product, it's more on oneself.
Yeah.
Because you're trying a new product, so you're still, in your mind, you're still a little bit skeptical,
Yep.
and you're like, damn, I don't wanna mess this up, this and that. But going from one unit to another unit, if I was to spray, which I probably wouldn't, because I wouldn't be able to do that many.
Yep.
I had to, if you wanted to make it easier, I had to carry a cart with my exhaust, with the hose, the 2 hoses.
Compressor.
I had to carry my sprayer machine,
Yep.
the gun, everything, and I literally had to clean the gun every single time. I use liners with trash bags. I had to take those apart.
Yep.
What this product allows you to do, especially on a production line that we do, and we do. When I work with Daniel, I'm doing numbers.
Yep.
So on that field, for me, I would still spray it on, rolled it on. Sorry.
Yep. No, I mean, that's how I would do a hotel or apartment. I wouldn't want to do it if I wasn't doing a bunch. But now if I have a helper with me, I've got a fan in one with an exhaust tube, because no hotel has a window in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Not none, but most of them do. So now they have to run the whole tube, they have to move the compressor each time. And the other issue that you didn't touch on with the spray, but is also a big problem when it comes to moving room to room like that. You have to move the tube and the fan that have wet paint on them while you have wet paint on you, and move it to the other room without getting footprints in the hallway. Like this is not. It's a hard job to be a spray guy and do that. And you have to valet to the other room.
100%. One of the things I always tell people too is that you gotta, you're not just saving the money on prep, which obviously because you sub too, you're saving money on that too, on the prep materials. But with this product, I've never really heard people talk about this, is how much we cost these hotels by inconveniencing them. So people complain, oh, hotels only want to pay $300 or $400. Well, think about it. They have to move everybody because the freaking thing smells. You're making a shit ton of noise. You're coming up and down and clogging up their elevators. And then, to his credit, he said it, you're risking damaging and painting stuff. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And no matter how thorough you are, there's always a chance that you overspray something or something goes wrong. And when you take all that into account, the hotels are actually, not only are they paying you, but they're also taking a hit. They can't rent their rooms. They're inconveniencing the guests that are renting. I mean, it is kind of a hassle. With this process, you take a lot of those stresses out. And me and Jonathan have seen it because both hotels we pitched to do this have just been we'll pay more to roll it on to not deal with the inconvenience.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't see. A lot of people don't see that. They're talking about, oh, this property doesn't want to pay $350. This property doesn't want to pay $400, and they start bad mouthing the people in charge. Oh, they don't want to do this and cheap. No, at the end of the day, yeah, they're paying you $400, so you made, let's say, $400, but they're losing so much more.
Yeah. Well, a hotel, especially the higher end ones, I've sent you to some of these properties, Disney. You went to the Grand Floridian. So that type of place charges an extreme amount of money.
Yeah. $1,200 for a Saturday night.
Exactly. And if you're staying there and you smell some pain, you're gonna complain because you want them sweet theme park tickets.
So in their end, they're not paying, let's say, the 400, 500 to get the tub refinished. It's costing them 3, 4, 5 grand
1,600.
Yeah,
for that tub to get painted.
exactly. Which is why a lot of people need to, they need to realize what it's actually costing. And some of these places charge resort fees, and they're risking their reputation, you know, to an extent. And I wanna touch base on that too, like how people talk about these places being cheap. It's like none of them believe you. You wanna know why? Because from the top down, the big dog refinishing company is peeling and failing just as quick as the fly-by-nighter. And it's because, like, we already know the limitations of refinishing, right? If a person takes care of it bad, it's not gonna last. If you take care of it exactly how we tell you, it'll last some time. But when from the top down, they're getting inconsistencies, and then you show up, if you don't have something completely different to change their mind, they just think it's all the same, and they think that the entire industry is a scam. They we go to properties sometimes, and they're like, yeah, we already know we have to do the tubs once a year. Because it's like, they all peel, doesn't matter, everyone says that they have something, everyone says it. Like, that's why we show them the videos of us throwing a brick at it. Because they're used to a shower head chipping a tub.
Well, even like, I just came upon this, I don't think any of us have ever mentioned this to each other or anybody else. Why does refinishing exist in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Because a brand new tub isn't gonna last forever.
Yep.
Brand new one. Where were you yesterday?
Yeah, the other day, yeah. I was at a brand new hotel that's being built next to Epic Universe.
New construction, yeah.
New construction. I mean, it's the Helios Hotel.
Brand new.
Mm-hmm.
This place, beautiful, by the way. But yeah, we were there because the tubs, they're brand new and they're being damaged during installation.
Doesn't matter how much you pay, how much quality. It's not made the way it was in 1920 when they put 10 pounds of porcelain dust on there
Yeah, for real.
and cooked it in an oven at 2,000 degrees. No, this is just, you know, it's the modern era. We make disposable things, and we're breaking a lot of molds by doing that because disposable things are what we do. Like you're not legally allowed to make a light bulb that lasts longer than a specific amount of time. It's not allowed. That's not what our standards and metrics do.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do by doing it this way and then doing our add-on process that we haven't fully shown off yet, we're offering longer true warranties, whether it's on a brand new tub or an old one.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it new and then we're gonna keep it new.
Yeah.
That's unheard of
Yeah.
in any industry. Everybody makes disposable stuff.
Well, and to your point, you know, I've seen in groups where there's people saying things like, hey, like, you know, how long should refinishing last? A newbie. And people in the comments, 5 to 10 years or 10 to 15 years is like a common one. But then they only warranty them for 5. It's like,
And it's a fake warranty.
well, yeah, and then some of them are
I've
fake
written
warranties.
Well, 5 to 10 year thing came from the manufacturers.
Yeah.
Because the refinisher goes, how long does this last? And the manufacturer goes 5 to 10 years. So
It
he's
should
like,
last
well,
like 10
I'm
years
not
if
gonna
you,
fucking
if you keep it
warranty
clean.
for 10 years, and then I'm just gonna go 5.
See, I think 'cause a lot of those people are scared of giving that to their customer. What I mean is that dedication to their customers. They don't want to be dedicated to that one tub for 10, 15 years. They
They
want to
can't
get
be.
in.
They can't be because they go out of
afford
business.
it. They can't afford it.
Yeah,
They have to go back.
because part of the reason is, and a lot of people get upset when I say it, but it's true. It's like they know it's not gonna last that long, and look, it's okay. It's okay. You're not like it's not anything wrong with it. We did your thing forever. We offered a lifetime warranty. We baked in, knowing that issues are gonna happen, and we're just gonna take care of it. We decided as a company, we will eat a loss because we want to offer better value. Like, but we know the limitations of your thing just like everybody else.
It all
But-
falls into that same loop.
Exactly.
If you buy an iPhone,
Mhm.
you're gonna get a year or 2 out of it. Why? Because the company will go out of business. Apple, the richest company, like top 5 richest company, they will go out of business if they give you a 5-year warranty on a phone because you will not buy another phone in
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
true. It's,
No reason to.
it's the unfortunate reality we live in. But that's another thing too is I have guys that are like, well, I only offer a 1 year because builders offer a 1 year. And in a commercial setting, I kind of get it because it gets different types of use. But I mean, like in a residential setting, you get a house built, like your appliances come with a warranty from the manufacturer. That's why these guys go to guys like Pat and ask, well, if he goes out of business, are you going to cover it? Because the builders, the builder will install the countertop. That countertop has a warranty from the factory, but the builder installing it is what has the 1 year warranty.
Yeah.
When they put your appliances in, he has a 1 year warranty on him, but the manufacturer has its 10-year or 15-year warranty, whatever it is. So, at the end of the day, when you're providing a service, our goal here at Bathtub, guys, is to provide as much value as possible. We were doing it with your thing, but we feel a lot more comfortable about doing it now and not giving away the house, which it wasn't happening, but realistically for a smaller company, a smaller operation, eating up those losses could really affect you.
Yeah.
And so, but again, why do people think that, oh, I only want to pay this much for refinishing? It's because to this point, no one has shaken things up and made them rethink what's possible with this process. And that's what we're trying to do, change minds, really.
Well, I mean, for a one-man operation, right, just be realistic. If you're giving somebody a 5-year warranty right now on a product, whether you trust it or not, let's be honest, if it was a brand new tub from Home Depot right now, right next to me, and I hit it as hard as I could with a shower head, it's probably gonna get damaged. It's probably a 50-50. On one that I sprayed with any of the earthings on the market, if I sprayed it in the last 30 days, I'm 100% sure it's going to get damaged if I hit it as hard as I can, right? If I do that hit in 2 months after it's dried, because it takes 30 days for that to fully dry, right? If I hit it then, it's probably 25 to 50% chance it damages. I would say there's a 0, or we'll just say a 99% chance that I'm not going to be able to damage a bathtub with a shower head if I try my hardest. I will break the shower wand before I do it. I've done it. I put it on a metal bar and I smashed it across the entire room. You guys have done it.
Yep.
I whipped it.
We did the same thing with
things
Jonathan.
that are impossible.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, you deserve to pay to do it again.
Well, also the center block,
Cinder block, yeah.
I mean, you saw the comment that I
Oh,
posted on there. That on that video, I put the guy's comment because he was kind of condescending. Let's see what happened. We threw the cinder block at it twice, and the tub didn't even have a scratch on it.
Dude, the tile is a much more impressive one.
Yeah.
Because that's realistic. My guy's up there gluing a tile to the wall, it falls and smashes
Which
all
is-
over. You're like,
Which is, what's funny about
how
that?
much am I
Patrick?
gonna have to pay this guy?
In these groups online, people are like, these are so unrealistic. It's like, okay, so you're telling me that your guys' professional tests, which some of these old timers do, which is scratching up the tile on purpose with a razor blade and sticking it behind the fucking toilet tank, that's a realistic test? That's what people are doing? No, people drop shit on their tubs. That's why us throwing it and showing that it will take impact is a realistic, practical test. Obviously, you're not going to throw a tow hitch at it, but at the end of the day, what's more realistic? You don't have customers going in and scraping their tubs on purpose. That's why these types of tests that they do, they swear that they're scientists. Their lab is sponsored by a fucking coating manufacturer, and that's exactly why they say no to doing side-by-side tests when we offer it.
We're here, that's literally what we're gonna do, side-by-side test, right?
And
That's
we're
the
gonna
point of what we're doing right now.
Exactly, and we're gonna do it with some of these other coatings because if they don't want to do it, then we'll do it. But for them to be like, oh no, this is just all unrealistic. It's like, okay, I mean you could say that, but what you guys are testing is unrealistic too. To me, it's weird, to do that. I don't know. The claims that they make is weird.
It's that we're doing things in a specific way and we can't change anything. It'll shake up the world. No one does any of this.
Yeah.
It's just us,
Yeah.
and we're all a community that we all treat it like it's some special crazy thing. It's not. I mean,
Yeah, I've
I'm
heard.
a BMW mechanic. I'm not a regular mechanic. You're a mechanic.
I've heard guys like
You're a painter.
I've heard guys like say like, oh, like, it really takes a real skilled artist to handle the gun. And I'm just like, bro, you're spraying bathtubs. You're not spraying, like, all right, bro, if you were painting Lamborghinis, I'd be like, yeah, bro, that shit needs to come out A1. You can't have a booger in it.
Gonna be the best.
You're spraying bathtubs, bro. People go in there to wash their ass, bro. Stop hyping yourself.
Another big one, but like even the Lamborghini painter, he's still a painter.
He's still a painter. When you break it down.
But he is.
But there's a certain level of prestige that comes with doing stuff like that.
Of course.
It's like some of these people too. You see, one of the things, I'm gonna throw this out there because I think it's silly, is like, I've never and I will never refinish a toilet or a urinal, right? Like, I don't want my brand associated with defecation, but some of these same people that swear that it's like, oh my god, the trades, like, oh my god, I'm such a skilled technician and painter. They're over here, they're painting fucking urinals, bro. People pee on it. What are you talking about? Like, it's not that deep.
Right.
Like, you've seen these people, bro.
Like at the end of the day, it's still like it's a job that you can be like it doesn't matter how you do the work.
Yeah,
You can still be super proud of it. Like,
of course.
I'm very proud of you guys for crushing it. Like, I mean, me and my family are big Disney people, and to see somebody working in the Grand Floridian, working in Golden Oak, at Four Seasons, at Poly, like at Universal.
He went to the Poly with us.
These are ridiculously high-end,
Yeah,
like, places.
yeah.
They, being on a service, like if you get damage in the Grand Floridian, you cost them $5,000.
If you rip off their wallpaper, it's a one of one. Congrats. Now they have to redo the whole room. Like, yeah, you gotta be careful.
It's not even only that though, like you said, to spray urethane in there. Now we're saying that you need to go in there, you need to shut down 2 other rooms. That's 3 suites that you're working in, because most of those jobs are suites. 3 suites you're working in. At some nights, you're talking $2,000 a night. But again, you charge me $2,000 a night. That's great, I'll pay it to be at Disney. But if I'm staying in a damaged room, I'm calling the manager and saying, hey, my $2,000 is free this week. So now that's $6,000 a night.
They're gonna see the value, especially if you do your due diligence to lay out the value proposition to them. They will be like, yeah, I will pay more money because it's saving me money here, here, and here.
Yep.
One of the things too is like, especially in the Grand Floridian, like imagine if you get overspray on the chandeliers there. Those chandeliers are like custom, like they're like shaped like birds and stuff. You're not gonna be able to run to Home Depot and grab one.
Oh, some
Like-
guy has to build this.
Yeah,
this
so
warehouse.
like again, you're just taking so many things out of the equation. I was told by the gentleman that helped us get in there, it was the day of his retirement. And he was like, yeah, they need some with the tubs. I'm retiring, so I don't care. I'm gonna get you in and then you figure it out. Really cool guy, but he told me that Disney very rarely steps outside of their own people. Very rarely. He's like, they like to have control of what's going on because outside help usually has problems. So they get taught kind of how to work with Disney and they partner and they have like their own maintenance crews and their own painters, but they didn't have a tub person. So for us to be like the ones that they trust with that, I think it's a big deal, right? Like, but at the end of the day, do I think that it's because we spray the most glass finishes in the world? No, I think it's because we as a brand have shown a pattern of consistency, of keeping our word and our commitments, and above all else, really, for a property like that is just communication and making sure that we're protecting the stuff. When you work in high profile places, especially places like this where the thing about Disney is that everything is themed. Universal things are themed. They're the one of ones. You can't just get them anywhere. You need to make sure you're not getting overspray on their stuff. You need to make sure that if something falls, you're wiping it down. Like, you need to make sure you're communicating because, like he said, it'll take a room out of commission for a week because that carpet was like ordered 10 years ago and some guy made it and like it was only for the Grand Floridian. It doesn't exist anywhere else. So yeah, that's one of the things I did want to touch on with that. I do think that a lot of people they take the craftsmanship thing to like a unnecessary level. I do think that obviously we want to deliver the best job possible and stuff, but like if you're asking me like, would I rather, do a quarter of the work and make sure that every single one is an absolute like perfection and there's not a little speck of dust on it, I'd rather do 30 jobs in a day and shoot for 95% than have one guy at a job for 3 days trying to make it 100. Because at the end of the day, it's like Patrick said, even brand new tubs get messed up. They come from the factory with defects. Like, no company that's ever scaled anything has done it with a perfect track record. It's about making sure that they can trust you to come back, to honor your commitments, to fix whatever they don't like. That's really the difference of what
The dedication they're giving to the customers. That's at the end of the day, that's it. They want to know that if something happens in so many years, they have someone backing that up.
Exactly, and it goes back to what Pat said about that email he got. It's like, why do they want the manufacturer to cover it? Because if he does it, we want someone accountable, and that's another part
All
too.
they want is
Yeah.
accountability. That's why when you just, the first trip to, we talked about it and it was like, all right, we gotta start pitching roll. We've used it, we've done it, people like it, and I'm the one that's saying we should be rolling. And then I start saying, well, you can do it faster, so you should charge less. And you guys are like, no. This is a better solution for the customer. It's a more expensive solution. Just because I can do it in an hour,
Doesn't mean
you still need to trust my warranty, you still need to trust my company, and I'm giving you a better finish. I'm giving you a better product. You should pay extra. And that's exactly what happened in both places that you talked to. Like, I can spray it for 300, I can roll it for 400.
We actually,
Whatever, I can
always
spray it
go
for
for
5, I can roll it for 1,000.
yep.
They just say, which one lasts longer? I don't care about it. Which one will you give me a longer warranty on?
When we were talking,
That's what I'm-
we literally, me and Jonathan were like, we should charge more for the roll. And he was like, yeah, we should try that. And we tried it, and they were like, okay.
Because it makes sense.
But it made sense
It makes
because
sense. They're getting a better product.
when we started
You're
talking
getting
to them,
10 times as much as you get when you spray your normal job versus roll. It's 10 times thicker than what you're spraying, and it's a stronger material to begin with.
when we were walking with the woman at the hotel, we were asking questions, kind of like guiding questions, like, oh, so, are you guys concerned about the smell? Like, yeah, like this place, we can't have smell, the guests don't like it, whatever. And pretty much all the concerns were solved by rolling it on, which is why we offered it. It's like, we're checking every box, right? So,
the biggest one we get back is like, when you tell them that their guests aren't gonna bitch,
yeah.
they're just like, alright.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest.
But they're used to it.
Like, we're not in a ton of apartments yet, but as they grow, it's gonna be the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like, how many Boston housings I've had to deal with where they call me and they're like, hey, like, on this one, you gotta get in and out of there as fast as you can. I did the same, like, I was using the Hawk, I was using good products.
Yeah.
And I'm spraying tubs. I did the same ladies like 25 times.
Mhm.
I just did it once a month because Boston Housing won't pay a Section 8 unless their inspector approves everything, and the tub would peel every time because she would just go in there and turn the water on and be like, I don't care, you're stinking up my house. I don't care. I'll just wreck it on them. I'll make them pay you.
That's pretty good.
She did it every single month. I did, no joke, I did hers like 25 times in like 3 years. And, I took a video every time because she had a stripper pole in her living room.
But smell, that's where she draws the line.
Yeah, and she would call the
This is
office and
immoral.
say, you're putting me up in a hotel. You're just causing chaos for all your people.
I mean, you'd be
You don't
surprised.
have to.
Me and Jonathan in Tampa, we got more positive reception from the higher end places for that very reason. We went to a lot of places that were cheaper. They're mostly price motivated.
Yep.
But some of the other ones who really sat there and heard us out were the higher end luxury places that are kind of newer too. They're like, yeah, people bitch about the smell. Like, and I mean, when you're paying almost $3,000 for a flat, like, yeah.
Given that, you're gonna be able to go into places you could never go. I mean, what's your biggest project right now? You're working at Advent Health.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You're working at one of the biggest places.
By the way, if
for
I tell
healthcare.
Terry, we already cracked the code to the no smell.
You can't work in a nursing home. Like, you have to unload the whole floor.
And the Advent Health account is an active hospital. Like there's like
Patients next door.
there's patients next door. Like right.
That in and of itself is just like,
Yeah.
oh,
And it falls back to what I was saying. You guys are gonna take the industry where no one could.
what do I do
You
with my
guys are
respirator
opening
patient?
doors that no one could ever imagine that they were gonna be open.
We've been to complexes where they say they don't refinish tubs because of the inconvenience. Like they're like, yeah, we just don't do it. Like we'll just rip them out.
A lot of complexes have, they, like you said, they ban tub refinishing as a like a
Yeah,
corporate
it's a smell.
standard because of the issues, yeah.
How can you possibly spray urethane next to somebody that's on a ventilator?
Yeah.
Like, dude, it sucks the air in and blows it right in their lungs. Like, we can be in the middle of a pediatric hospital next to, next to the patient, next to the infinish, the trauma unit, and be in there just rolling like,
And the crazy part
whoa,
is that
shit.
the person next door won't know.
They won't know.
Because when I was doing those 14 shower pans, there was a bunch of people coming in because they were doing the punches that had to be done by Monday, if I'm not mistaken. So you had painters, you had people who do install the floors, you had electricians, you had drywallers,
Yep.
you had all these people going back because you go into the unit and there's a bunch of tape everywhere of subs that need to be fixed. People will go in and out, and then sometimes they'll see me and they're like, oh, you were here? And they'll be asking, oh, what are you doing? Oh, no, I'm doing the tub. But if they weren't to ask me, I was in, because I was just out of, what does that say? It's out of, like I always close the door.
Just out of respect.
Courtesy.
I always close the door to the bathroom, so no one ever knew that I was there.
Mm-hmm.
But the times that I do come out, they would ask me because they couldn't tell I was there. And that's the beauty of it. No one could tell that I was there. That's when it comes to, then it really doesn't smell.
And that's like contrast to like when we were doing Cabana Bay, one time the sprinklers went off from how much we were spraying.
I've had
Like,
that happen.
and it's like,
Jesus.
just save yourself the embarrassment, please. Bro. Don't do what we were doing.
What is that? And the other one, like I mentioned it, like it would be a good video that we should just do anyways, but you have to carry all this crap up or push a cart up. You're not allowed to just walk through the lobby. Like you need to go to the back dock. You gotta find parking by the loading dock where all the delivery trucks are.
Yeah.
Now you gotta load up your cart and wheel everything up there. Go through the service way where you have to wait with all the service people in these major places. Or you just put on your little backpack and get the key card and walk up to the room. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you don't have to wear like painty clothes. Like there's not any reason you should be covered in paint. You should be like, I've done like silly ideas where I'm like, oh, I'll rent a tuxedo and I'll paint the
Yeah.
paint
That's
the
a
tub.
kind of a banger idea. Bradley, you have these ideas, you just gotta do it. Or just, you know what? Make a list and we'll just recreate it. I'll tell Jonathan to get a
You just
3-piece
rent the
suit.
tuxedo and
Like,
just
yo,
go
this is
outside
how
with a
easy it is.
tuxedo. Like, look at me. Like it's such a messy process to do a job. I'm wearing a tuxedo.
It's easy enough, I think, to do it, especially if you segment the tub the right way, where you just finish the back and work your way out.
Yep.
You can do that like easy, and you won't get paint on you.
You guys did that live at Lake Buena Vista the other day. Like if I wasn't so sick, I would have jumped on. But I would have been like, bro, why are you guys diving in the like dangling in there? Like stand in the tub and roll everything else, and then get out and roll the bottom. Like you can just wipe the bottom off and then just roll the bottom. You could just stand there. You don't have to reach.
I have done that once. We
Just
had
stand on
when
that
we,
shit.
when we first started implementing the product,
Yeah.
we had tested to see if we could put it over urethane,
Yep.
and it had like a rejection. And so what we did, it was an entire shower floor. We just took acetone and cleaned everything off and started again. So
Yeah.
like if you would have tried that with urethane, bro, you would have had to let it cure for fucking the
We
next
also
day,
like
come back, sand it down.
stuck with the logic of that. Like, well, you got it on your hands, you got it on the floor. Just wet a little acetone and clean it.
Mhm.
You can just clean it with water.
Yeah. When it's still wet,
Like,
clean with
yeah.
water.
As soon
That's
as it
crazy.
dries,
Yeah.
you can clean it with fire.
Yeah.
You can't get it off with anything except fire
No,
once it
we
dries.
dealt with that too. We
Yeah.
had some
Yeah.
little drippage underneath some tape, and I had the lucky job of gonna get this shit off. And I was like,
Grinder,
it's okay, it's great.
You need like a blowtorch or a grinder.
That's another reason why.
Options.
That's another reason why the roll-on is great, though. It's like
Yeah.
you don't have to get your feet all sticky because you just sprayed there. You're not tracking the stuff around. Like, realistically, the most conscious you gotta be is to make sure that the resin that's unmixed doesn't get anywhere, which I just recommend is after you mix, swap your gloves real quick, and then you're not tracking anything, because if it's catalyzed, it'll eventually dry, right? You're not gonna. But, it's just so much easier, like, and honestly, there's
sticky, gross.
no overspray, like,
worst.
that is the worst. The overspray,
Have it in your nose. The
Yeah.
overspray in your nose is the worst.
and on your skin, it starts feeling like dry and chalky, and, oh man, you gotta, this is gonna save people a lot of headache, it's gonna save them, save their health. And as a refinishing company, like, owner that, like, has to spend a disgusting amount of money on filters for the mask, that's another thing. It's like $600 every couple of weeks. It's like insane. And so yeah, there's like a lot of benefits to it. I like it.
But you should, I don't know if you want to do it in a different segment or you want to do it now, but like, we should talk about what we're actually doing and how we're actively trying to work.
All right, so let's end this one here, and then we're gonna have a segment where we talk about a little bit more in depth about the management stuff and what that's gonna entail.
Yeah.
So I think that's good. We're gonna go ahead and end it there. We'll see you guys in the next one.
We got watchers at all? We got people
Yeah,
watching
we got
us?
some guys watching on YouTube, some guys watching on Instagram.
If anyone wants to go to the bathroom, coming in and out, good time to do so.
Yeah, we got some
Break action.
viewers.
Hey guys, anybody that's watching on the stream, feel free to ask any questions that you have. We're open books. We're happy to explain anything, clarify anything.
This is one of my favorite things to do is the podcast thing, because it's like so very little people in like contracting work in general even do stuff like this. So like it's fun because like we're actually engaging with people, talking with people, versus just having like. And I like the groups. I even like George's group, but like versus having a closed community, like you have people in here who are like DIYers who are telling you their experience and why they're not going to DIY again. It's like it's different perspectives. That's really what we're
Getting
doing.
more value.
Exactly. Also, not to mention, I mean, just having this kind of platform looks good. Like if a customer walks in, they're like, "Wow, look at what these people are doing." It's like it looks impressive. So.
Yep. Oh, I mean, it really is. Like, I really was in the mold. I was looking to just keep pushing our product the way that we do, but it didn't make sense. We talked about doing it, just like you said, about just doing a sponsorship for the podcast, because then at least I'm reaching the specific people that I want. But that doesn't make sense as opposed to being part of an actual community where, why is Hilton gonna trust us? Because we're on here talking about that and making ourselves more vulnerable if we didn't stand behind what we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have a face to go with that name. They know who to chase.
The way I see it too, and it goes hand in hand with what you said, is like it cheapens the brand if everyone does it. Like regardless of what you think, in the future, if everyone starts making Ekopel clones and then we need to go to market, at the end of the day, Pat, we were the first ones to market, so it's going to be so much easier to be like, we were there first.
Yep.
But until that happens, like we need to like introduce the industry to something different in a controlled way, where we kind of we're not just bringing Joe Schmoes, we're bringing people who want to learn how to do it the right way, who aren't going to make your product look bad by mixing it wrong. You saw what happened when you went to a big operation that was just like, yeah, we don't care. I mean, they were shooting with multi-stone needles and had runs all over the place. And then the first thing they're going to do is come to you and be like, why does it suck?
Yep.
And that's what guys, we're doing all the real field work.
100%.
Like instead of you having to go buy the product and figure it out, we're figuring it out for you.
Yep.
And that's what it's coming down like.
Also, not to mention, for everybody watching, having somebody that's dedicated to R&D who's pretty much like an open book. If we don't like something, he's finding a way to make it better. That is invaluable.
Like, I have no business being here. I could just be a DIY seller and I make a lot of money. I don't care about the money. I care about
We have a goal.
my entire thing. Like, I literally run a super successful DIY business. I have no business being here.
Yeah.
I have business just sitting around collecting checks from doing DIY work. But I even from day one I was like, yeah, but how can I do it as a pro? How can I get you to do it?
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
don't-
don't take it to the next
Like the DIY industry made my lifestyle. It gave my family what we have, and I'm very thankful for that. But like, I'm a bathtub guy at heart. I
Remember when
want
you came on the first
I
time?
want this.
The reason you started Ekopel mainly was because of like the health stuff
That's
your
what it
guys
was,
were going
yeah.
through in the field, and like now you're achieving that goal back for the pros, because this shit really is
The
gonna
only
save everybody's
thing-
lives.
No, yeah, I'm not knocking like my DIY business. It's wonderful, and this is a product that you very easily can do on your own.
Yeah.
But if you want to trust that it's done definitely right, and if something goes wrong, they'll come back and get it, then a pro's the way to go. And there was no way that I could sell to a pro. But that's what I, like, we've spoken of research and development. That's all I did. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out how to spread. I couldn't figure out how to roll it or make it so you don't have to spend 8 hours on one job. Because it is pro friendly if you can convince somebody to pay you $1,200 to do one job.
Yeah.
It's very pro friendly.
Exactly.
But how the hell are you gonna convince somebody to pay you $1,200 a tub
Also, how
every day?
this is the thing too, and I see this like, how are you gonna convince somebody to try a DIY product when all the other ones really suck? So it's like, realistically, as far as DIY products go, Ekopel is like here. And the other ones are like way down here. So when you tell somebody, hey, this product is now being used for pro stuff, the skepticism's already high. But because no one else is using it regularly, it's another tough sell.
Yep.
Whereas now everybody wants it. But that's why I said we'll control who gets access to it, and when everyone decides to start making their clones of a similar product,
Yep.
then we'll be like, hey,
Yeah,
we sell it, but you know, like we were first to market. Trust
Bro.
us, because and it's true.
Everyone makes burgers, everyone makes chicken fingers and chicken nuggets.
Yep.
You know where McDonald's is.
Yep.
You know, not to say that the quality is that low, but like, as the industry leader,
Yeah.
everyone makes cola, but we have Cokes,
100%.
right? Everybody makes phones, but we have iPhones, like, you know.
It's the same
leader is the
mindset.
leader. The guy, I talked to a refinisher that is interested in what we're gonna talk about when we restart, but he has 18 techs, he likes what he's doing, and he was like, my biggest concern, I'd love to be part of your network in some way, but I wanna be the only one. He's like, Kansas City, I'll shout him out in the next section, but he's in Kansas City, and he said, I wanna be the only Kansas City guy.
And that's
And that's what we want.
That's
Yeah.
part of the value proposition of this entire thing for you guys who are on the live. It's like, you know,
you can.
that competitive edge. Exactly. Get it while you can. If we just started selling to everybody in Georgia, then it's not special anymore. And at the end of the day, you know, what we're trying to do is give you a chance to get a competitive edge, build a reputation off of it, so that when the cavalry comes from the other side and they start trying to sell clones of the product or something similar, you already built your back off of being the first one to market. Not just us, but you guys out there who partner. It's like being the first one to figure out, like, I don't know, that, you know, modern, like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like the, yeah, it's like being the first one to like invest in Apple, right? Right, like that's like a good comparison. It's like you're getting a chance to try it before because it's coming. Like the
And
reason,
as we get more successful, inevitably, like joining the team is gonna get a little bit more expensive.
exactly.
So, like the buy-in potential right now is at its lowest because we're trying to establish successful locations. So we're also gonna give you our all to
Exactly.
make sure you succeed, because we can only succeed at what we're doing if our locations succeed.
100%.
Right.
I just think like you're coming in on the ground floor of something that is going to change. There's a reason why some manufacturers don't want to be side by side with us. Realistically, we start cutting into like a Miracle Methods, like, you know, like what their markets, we start coming in and competing with them. Not only are they gonna start paying attention, but the manufacturers are gonna start paying really close attention, and things will change. And I mean, would you rather have a 3, 4, 5 year head start, or would you rather wait until the floodgates open and now everyone in town is using eco-friendly products that can be rolled
Yeah,
on?
it's a domino effect.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys started it, and now it's just
All the publicity that we've been putting behind Tubcast, it's only a matter of time before one of these other
You don't
manufacturers try to
think-
cross-engineer.
You
their
don't
own
think with
platform.
the amount of people that have asked us that there's people calling up these legacy companies and saying, are you guys gonna do something? Like, it is definitely happening.
Well, I mean, look at that, right? And then here's just another piece with that. We could all be greedy in this situation too. And I could just say, listen, this, I appreciate you guys promoting stuff. I wanna sell to everybody. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. That'd be a nice greedy way to pull it out.
Yeah.
It would be way more profitable now that we've,
Built up
now
the
that
following,
everyone
yeah,
sees us. We've had so many people write to us, talking to us. This is, everyone wants us at this point. If you don't, then you're just a hater that's not interested in change, right?
Even the haters, one of them that was hate commenting
That's
to me,
true.
DM'd me and was like, hey, can you sell me some of that?
Yeah, can I just, I've had probably 17, what about private label? Like, I know you guys had this thing going on, but like,
Yeah.
how about we private label? I could be greedy, I could do something like that. I don't wanna be though, because anybody that believes in us now, you're with us, we wanna take the ride up to the top. And there's opportunity here where we can all be a team and we can get national recognition together. Or we can all be out for ourselves and I could charge, whatever the market is, I can charge 10% less than you. Wanna take mine? Or we can just all work together, we can put out a great product, we can all be affiliated, and when you're coming aboard, the way we're gonna, one of the ways that we're gonna protect you is that you're the guy.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be another guy and you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
My tech's gonna quit right after I train him, I'm so scared, that's my worst nightmare as a one-man show that just invested 6 months training a guy, or a year and a half.
Yep.
And the guy says, give me $40 an hour or I'm leaving and doing my own thing. Good luck doing your own thing.
There's
You
only
don't have to
one.
spread your thing.
Yeah. And then that's the other thing too. Is
That
like,
solutions isn't gonna sell to you.
you can
buy it on
blacklist
Amazon.
people. Like if you trade them, like we'll just know that hey, that person left them high and dry and not hire you. Like at the end of the day, it's just again, you're getting a lot of benefits with this that we're gonna talk about in depth a little bit more on the next podcast that we're gonna record, but there's just a lot of value there, especially for smaller operations that want to grow. Like you will be competing and in time exceeding the Miracle Methods, the bigger companies in your area, because you have something that no one else can offer. And that is just, I mean, if I was presented that when I started, 100% I'd be taking it.
I did accept that.
Exactly.
There are other marketing businesses that do a similar thing. We're planning on adding an aspect of that, and I think it's a great way to let you we have as a collective have no interest in owning your business.
Yeah.
We want to help grow your business. We want to build out this huge web network where we're all intertwined, we're all happy, because none of us stand to gain from your failure.
Exactly.
Together.
So I've had people ask me why did you guys want it to be your name? And it's because if Orlando gets Bathtub guys jobs from Hilton Worldwide, they are Hilton Worldwide, not Hilton Florida. So if you are in Mississippi and I get a call from a Hilton in Orlando, I can be we have a Bathtub guys in Mississippi. But
or I could crush you and send my guys there to do it because you have no interest in doing that job.
Exactly.
Why should Jonathan travel to Mississippi? That doesn't
Exactly.
make any sense.
Exactly. We'd rather it's more about the opportunity to have a household name. Whereas in this industry, there's only one. Like, I get it, bro. You want Joe's Refinish, you want your name to be on the map, but it's like we're trying to do something that hasn't been done and have a real competitor. That's what it is.
Even bear in mind, like I mentioned Coke and McDonald's and all these places, right? Coke is one formula, right? But there's a place that makes Coke that's not named the Coke Factory. Well, actually, it's named the Coke Factory. But it's like ZXY Distributions that makes it in Boston.
Yeah.
And there's XYZ Corporation that makes it in Orlando.
Mhm.
They don't just make it in Atlanta and send it to the world.
Well,
I make it.
So, and then this is that's a perfect analogy because here's how I'm going to connect it to what we're doing. We are in this industry. We're trying to be the Coca-Cola company, and there might be Fanta, and there might be Dr. Pepper. But it's all under one umbrella, and that's the point. It's like, hey, bro, the brand is what it built off. It's built off of the recognition this name gives us, but that doesn't mean we're gonna say no to Fanta and Sprite. Like, it's just
We want to add you.
yeah, we want to add you. You're just under this, but you own it. That's you. And that's kind of like what we're looking to do. We want to add companies. We don't want to own it. It's gonna be mutually beneficial for the brand to be branded as the only company that has it, and you own a company that is connected to that, and it's just easier to scale that way. You don't have to run an ad for every individual refinishing company. It's like the Bathtub guys' ads work. We'll plug them in over there. Now you have that recognition attached to you. So that's 100%. That is the way that we're going about it. And I think that's the best way for people to kind of understand.
I listened to a Morgan & Morgan ad on the way in this morning. He was talking about size does matter.
Yeah.
It does.
It's another one of those companies. Morgan & Morgan is not one company.
Yeah.
No.
They're all partners.
And then you'll look into the paperwork and it's like Lawyers Guild of America. It's like that's how these things work.
It's a team.
It's a team. But anything worth doing is done with partnerships. Like the idea that just one company is going to come after a institution at this point is crazy. It's like it takes bringing different people together.
Well, they became an institution by doing the same thing.
Exactly.
And that's how they miracle that they got there.
Yeah,
A
and
bunch of people bought into the idea.
yeah, and I think again they do it the best, but that doesn't mean that someone else can't come in and try, right?
We're definitely gonna make it better. I mean, it's like they did it the best 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Now we're here. We're coming up with new ideas. We found better ways.
I think it's like what you said too, is like there's a lot of pride in the refinisher community of like, I have a business and it's successful because like this industry is niche, so like, I wouldn't say that it's easy to be successful, but like compared to a painter, there's a million painters, right? Like this is so specialty that a lot of guys see success quick and like, you know, they want their name on there, but it's like, dude, that's fine, but what we're offering is like, you still own it, it's still yours, but like,
we're not looking for that guy.
but
We're
just-
looking for that guy that wants to make money.
Grow-
That wants to build a business that's
yeah,
very profitable.
but also,
We have to be able to hang out with you.
Yeah.
And let's
Yeah.
face it, we
Yeah.
don't want
That's
to
true.
do it stiffs.
Mhm.
exactly, we want people who are highly motivated, who care about like making a successful business, like,
Like it's something that they can pass on to their kids because there's systems and
Literally
processes that
every
work.
single one of the people that have been a part of this group that I've talked to, that's the first thing they say.
Mhm.
I want something that I can be proud of and pass on to my kids and build a
and
legacy.
if it was all about the money, I'd do what many of people have suggested, just sell it, you'll make so much more money, it's like,
Of
dude,
course,
like,
let's go.
I put myself in Patrick's position, like, yeah, we're doing this, and then he's like, fuck, all these people want it now.
I'm interested in a super yacht, I just,
But,
you know,
we'll get there, because at the end of the day,
it's
like,
not necessary.
like, we're gonna get there this way that's more sustainable with a tight-knit network of people who are gonna grow both things at the same time.
Have you, did you restart?
No, I haven't. I'm about to restart it.
I'm like, we're blasting through half this stuff.
Alright, let's go ahead, we're gonna go ahead and start the next
We should-
segment.
We should let Joshua do a little bit about how his year's been and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the
We have
podcast.
what, 8 months or so
What?
together?
So since we started working together? Yeah,
It's
it's
not a
not.
little bit longer than that, bro.
Well, with you, I actually met you first.
Let's talk about
You
that on
did-
here.
I met you 2 years ago.
Alright, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and start it now.
Good, this is good.
Super weird with no phone. No phone. Both of my devices are.
Hello, everybody. We're back. This is going to be the third episode together with everybody here. We're going to keep the conversation going, but you guys were about to talk about something, but we're going to leave it for here about Joshua and how his experience has been working together with us. I mean, we could talk a little bit about your business in general, but with the relationship and how it started with Bathtub Guys and you working as a sub for us and that whole thing.
Yeah, so I met you guys happened to be 4/11.
Try to get a little closer to the
It
microphone.
was April 11th last year.
Okay.
I looked it up. Basically, I've been with my wife for 6 years.
Uh-huh.
She had a painting business with her brother, and one day, you know, she had the mindset of what if she could do something with me instead of building something for somebody else. She was like, "Oh, what if we make our own thing?" And a lot of people see as a what if mentality as being weak, but to every the way I look at it, there's weakness and strength to everything. You decide whether it's a weakness or if it's a strength.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I used to be a welder. I was a welder since I started welding, I think I was around 16.
Wow.
So I started young. I went to high school, learned the trade to weld, and I've been there since. And then, so one day I get home from work, and my wife was like, "Hey, what if? You know, what if we could build something together?" And it stuck with me, and I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do it."
Mm-hmm.
Why? I have, and this is a problem that a lot of people have. I have a job that every Friday when I get home, I have a paycheck. As long as I work my 40 hours a week, I don't have to worry about a check. But that's that, there's a name for it, where you have that security. You have that security that is coming in. So a lot of people don't want to take the next step because they don't have the security that on them. They know that, hey, Friday comes, I'm gonna get paid.
Yeah.
So she implemented that on me, what if? And I can't, to be honest, I can't say how long it was, but we've been in business, you know, lucky for 2.5 years. So I'm sure it took a while, and that what if was just bugging me, man. It was like, what if? What if? And then I decided to stop doing welding, and I started painting work. Matter of fact, she was the one that actually taught me how to paint. I wasn't a painter. I didn't know how to paint. So I used to weld, and my job was on at 4:30. I used to drive wherever she was, and I used to help her paint. Back then, bro, they used to pay me like $20 because everything was cheaper back then.
Yeah.
You know, $40 to help them out because they're spraying and everything, they're painting the walls, and I was doing baseboards and doors, so it wasn't much. So I was like, "You think I'm gonna leave my job to go do this for that much?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, that's because you're helping me. But what if we're putting it together?" And then after that, I said, "You know what? Let's do it." We started from zero, just like everybody here has. You know, I didn't have the privilege to start from somewhere. I had to build it up, and that's why I say a lot of people have egos because they had to start from nowhere, and that's why it takes a hard toll on them having to let go of that for a better future.
Yeah.
And we don't know if it's a better future or not. But the way I look at it, wouldn't you rather know than 2-3 years down the road be like, "Damn, what if?" That's when the
kind
what
of like
if.
that middle ground, right? Where you're
Yeah,
kind of like
that's-
buying into something, but you're not really giving up all your ownership.
Yeah, so that's what they allow you. And that's what I was telling Danny, you know, this whole thing, you know, people are trying to say under the name this and that, but the way I see it is for someone that gets in, they're providing a foundation to their business, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're getting in with someone that's gonna strengthen your foundation. I don't know if you guys, you know, are religious or whatever, I am, and where my religion, it says, what I believe in, I should say, it says to build a strong foundation, because if you don't have a strong foundation, your house is gonna fall. And I apply that to my personal life, with your business, everything. If you don't have a strong foundation in your business with principles, hard times are gonna come and you're gonna go out of business.
100%.
So now, why won't you take the advantage if someone's helping you make that foundation and it's not caring to take over your foundation, instead help you out so that 15, 20 years down the road, you're still gonna be with us, you know, with that company, why not? Now, I started doing my thing with my wife, painting, and then we slowly started adding more services because we started painting, but being in the apartment industry, you get asked a lot, hey, do you know someone who does this, or do you do this yourself? So we started adding different things, and then being a one-man show with my wife, she happened to we started her business, and then like 2 months later, man, we got pregnant. So now the help that I had, I didn't have anymore. So now I had to do everything myself. So I was painting, I was doing base work, I was doing flooring, I was doing a lot of things myself. And that gets very exhausting, you know what I'm saying? So then that's how I started doing bathtubs as well. A supervisor came in, he's like, hey, do you know how to do bathtubs? I was like, no, I don't know how to do bathtubs. Oh, there's a spray in Home Depot. Can I buy you this spray and you spray? I'm like, okay.
That's all it takes.
I was like, okay. I was like, okay. You gonna pay me $150 for doing it? He's like, yeah. Just do it. I was like, okay, I'm not giving you any warranty. I've never used this. I had never sprayed a tub before, and they wanted me to use that little rattle can.
Little Rust-Oleum special.
So I did. You know, I'm not gonna lie. That's how I started doing bathtubs. I did,
Crackhead
I
special.
did. That's it. And man, that smell was terrible.
No mask.
Well, yeah, 'cause you just did it.
My
You were
mask,
having
my
that shit.
mask was a shirt.
Yeah.
It was rolled up and I put it around. Yeah, that did nothing.
Oh my
It
I did
was-
that with like 5 rags before I
It was so bad. So I think I did 3. After that, I was like,
Oh my
no,
God.
I'm not doing no more of this.
Sniffing the
So
fucking
then,
Rust-Oleum. Oh my
because they
God,
wanted me to do
dude.
more. You know, they wanted, it's a quick fix. Then I was like, no, I'm just gonna hire someone else. I hired someone that I know that does this, supposedly 15 years in the industry, this and that. But I didn't know the process. But I myself didn't know the process required to do a good job. So then I subbed out the person, they did 6 or 8 tubs. The first month, 2 months, they were all peeling.
I'm a professional, 15 years, buddy.
I'm like, man, what do I do?
Followed all the directions.
And
to
this guy, unlike you guys that are having a warranty and you guys are actually willing to take the loss, this guy was not willing to take the loss. To go back and do those tubs. 4 of them were fiberglass enclosures. And then I think there was like 3 that were tubs. So then I was put in a hard position. I was like, what do I do? You know, because if I didn't solve the issue for them, I was gone. I lost the property. They're gonna find someone else because they're not up to that. You know, they don't have to deal with that. So then I was going crazy, man. I was going crazy. I started looking up online of courses, and all of them were like $23,000, $25,000. I'm like, oh, man, what do I do? And then
Just to be in some shack somewhere.
yeah, just so I could fix the issue. You know, I was like, let me learn so I could fix the issue, so that a month, 2 months down the road, I'm still with them working. So I happened to find Top Coat. They had, I think it was like $650 the training. It was 2 days. So I was like, I didn't have no money for it. So I was like, you know what, whatever. It's just gonna have to be an investment. So I did the training, and then I had to buy the equipment to do it. So it wasn't just that 600, 650. It still came out to be like 2,300 or something like that. With the car rents and everything. And so they showed me. So what I did was I chose to pay for someone to teach me the principles of bathtub refinishing, and that I will never take away, and I will never talk, because I was taught how to do it the right way, and that has led me to come to the position that I am, working with bathtub guys refinishing and being able to stand out from every other finisher. So then I got back from the course, and I was like, well, now I got 6 tubs to do. The first 6 tubs that I ever did were warranty recalls.
Yep.
So now I'm buying material.
Right.
So I paid, first of all, I paid the guy already.
Yep.
I'm buying materials again to do the job. And the first 6 were warranty costs, and that was my training. That's how I learned. It got to the point where the tubs, I had a razor blade. Check this out. I had a razor blade. I scraped the side of the wall, and it was just coming right off.
Yep. Shiny underneath.
It was,
'cause they
yeah, don't
didn't
get me wrong, it was
fucking
shiny, because what I didn't know, a lot of these old timers did, at least this is what he did, and mind you, he's been doing it for 15 years. They put 2 fingers of glaze.
Yeah.
And the rest of the cup, they filled it up with acetone and reducer.
That's what I always say to everybody, because ours has what we're using is 0 VOC. nothing evaporates. It's chemically hardened. It's a chain reaction that causes everything. Whereas when you're doing it that way, 80% of it evaporates, and then
Yeah, that's
there's
20%
nothing
is
left.
the wall. So to me, that's why when people come up to
When
me,
you scrape it with a razor blade like that,
well, see, mind you,
it peels off and it's shiny
that's
underneath.
20% when we're doing it right.
Mhm.
Now, if you're getting the product and you're reducing 80%, now you're not putting, 20% of that in the wall. You're
Well, they
putting
don't
way
use
more.
the primer. It's too expensive to add that. They just take a can of Kills and just
Yeah.
quick
So
little
then
dust
that's-
coat to
that's how-
prevent
that's-
fish eyes.
That's how I
and
got
all the
introduced to the tub refinish. I was forced into this industry if I wanted to keep the connections that I had. Which, mind you, at the end of the day,
It's a good
it was better
connection
for
to
me.
have,
It was
for
better
sure.
for me because now whenever I don't have painting to do or drywall repairs or anything like that, they call me from different sections, from different places to do bathtubs or I've done countertop because of that. So, like I said, someone's weakness, you can make it a strength. You could turn it around. It's all about mentality.
How did you find Jonathan?
So I actually took my wife hadn't seen her sister in 7 years, I think it was at the time, 6 years. Because when my wife came from Venezuela, right before her sister went to Spain.
Okay.
So then we were saving up, and I had the opportunity to take my wife to Spain. We were there for I think it was a month and a half, or a month and a week. We were there in Spain.
Oh.
So we went in December. My mindset was that in December, being in apartments, we don't get a lot of work in December because I think it's right around November is their turnaround. So then they try to get everything done by November,
Mhm.
so that the next year, when the new year comes, they have all their new budget adjusted and everything like that. So typically your December and January are gonna be your slower months, like I said, where I'm coming from. So we're okay, we'll go to Europe. So we were over there in Europe, but I still had my painters, but I didn't have a tub guy, because the only tub guy I had was the one that gave me 6 subs for me to do for practice.
Pass.
So then one time, one of the supervisor calls me, he's like, man, I have a tub. And that was a brand new property, like I had only done one to them. So it was a brand new customer that I was trying to reel them in to get more work. I tend to get it from, it was in downtown, and it was like a Saturday. And I think I called him like a Friday or something like that. It
He
was-
called me, he was like, bro, I'm gonna lose this property if I don't get someone else.
It was bad, so
I was like, I'll call one of my guys. I didn't want him to lose the property, bro.
So his guy literally went to work on a Friday, on a Saturday, sorry, because I was in Spain, mind you. My time over there was like in the afternoon, I think it was, and his time, actually no, we spoke the day before at nighttime, and then we coordinated everything the day before.
Yeah.
Because over there, like the time difference was like 6 hours, so when it was day to me, it was
I feel so
completely separate.
weird too. I was over.
So then I had that customer, I was like, listen, I don't care what it costs, but I have to get it done.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to the group. So before I met Jonathan, I went to the group and I was like, listen, I have this situation. I need you guys to refer me to someone that's in the Orlando area. What caught my attention was that he was in the town. You were on that side of town.
Everyone
And
thinks
people-
everyone thinks he's in Orlando because he's always hanging out with me.
Yeah. So then everybody suggested him, so he was the first one I called. And I explained to him the situation. He's like, yeah, man, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll help you out. He figured out who to send. His guy came up there, and it was a Saturday issue. No one was in the office. The guy couldn't get into the
He
property.
couldn't even get in because it was like a high rise.
To get into
You get it all together, and then they're like, just fuck it.
He's in Europe and he's like, I'm like, man, I hope this guy.
You can just do it on Monday. That's fine.
Yeah, so then we got to the point where like, listen, man, the guy had been waiting there for like 30 minutes or something. I was like, man, please just have him wait 10 more minutes. Let me try to figure out this and that. Because the problem was that to get into the parking lot, you needed a key fob. To get into the property, you needed a key fob as well. And there was no one to give him that. So then he waited 10 more minutes. Someone lucky at that time frame, because I couldn't call anybody, it was a Saturday. So, and I had the manager's phone number, like her direct phone, but I guess she was like, no, I'm not answering because it's Saturday. So then luckily in that 10 window span, someone went into the garage, so he was able to follow someone in. And that same person opened the door, so he was able to get into the building, and that's how
Behind and take
that's how they were able to get that for me. So like he texted me pictures, hey, this
You
is
know,
done,
that, you're
whatever.
lucky I sent that guy because then all the other guys.
Yeah, any other guy would
Yeah,
have said, nah, I'm out
he
of
was
here.
very like, all right, we're gonna figure
So
this
so
shit
he
out.
saved my ass there, and then after that, I don't think we never had that much communication afterwards because I wasn't doing enough times. You know, I just had that situation where I was like, damn. But for some reason, he still remembered who I was. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure, who's gonna call you from fucking Spain and be like, yo, I got this. You're not gonna forget that. You know what I'm saying?
And we're
So
always,
never
we're
gonna
always
believe it.
active on social media, so I used to see you coming up all the time. on
Yeah,
social
and then I
media.
used to, since I was new, I used to comment a lot. I used to ask stuff. You know, there was once a time where there's a lot of people that like to go back and forth, and someone thinks they're doing it the right way, and then someone thinks they're doing it the wrong way. Me coming up, I was doing a tub that was green. So I didn't know how much I had to sand, this, that. So I was asking questions, and then some guy was like, oh, I do this. Some guy it was a fiberglass enclosure. Some guy was putting acid on the fiberglass enclosure, and people started just going hard on him. Oh, you know, use acid, this and this. And then it caused so much controversy that my post had gotten taken down. So I was like, bro, I'm new. I'm just trying to figure it out what you guys do. You know, I was like, I'm just trying to figure out how much I have to sand, like, to get the job done. And dude, these people were just going, hey, no, you're this, you can't. I was like, and the post got taken out. So I was like, man, what do I? And I was working at the time. I was doing the tub, so I didn't get to see what the comments were. So I'm like, man, so I just fling, I just sanded down and up. So I've kind of like not being as active just that experience, because it's almost, there's a lot, I don't think this is a stupid question, because what I know is not what you know. And for example, someone else could be telling you something and you think that is the way, but I could come up and be like, that's not the way.
Mhm.
And then you decide whether you're gonna stay with the old mindset or you're gonna learn something new.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of guys coming in that really don't know, and people expect for them to know, to them, oh, that's not the right way. We don't know,
Mhm.
especially new. So then me being active on the post, I saw that Daniel one time, it was last year, they were looking for employees. So I was like, you know, what if? And I told my wife, one day I woke up, I got an itch in my ass, and I said, I want to be known by these people. But not known as just another refinisher. I wanted to get known by them, get the respect. And there was nothing, I didn't know the guy. I had only known Jonathan once, and I didn't know they were working together at the time. So then I sent him, it was super late because I was in my office at home. It was like 11 something, and I sent him the resume. Hey, I saw you posted an ad, you're looking for people this and this. And he answered, he said, yeah, right. He gave me his phone number, and they invited me for an interview. So I sat down, and then they were like, okay, so what do you want to do? I was like, what do you mean? Like I said, I didn't know there was some work from you, this and that. So
Right.
I thought it was just gonna be me coming in as an employee, this and that, which I was still trying to do my thing. So I was like, man, I hope they don't get me as an employee. My wife said, just ask them. Like, you don't lose nothing from asking. So then we sat down and talked, and then we talked for a little bit, and he was like, would you be interested in doing sub work? I was like, oh shit, is that even an option? He's like, yeah, man, if you want, you know, I could give you sub work, and then we'll work that way. And that's how I was able to be able to come into this whole bathtub guys finishing, because I hit him up on they were looking for employees.
Right.
But I think at least what I like to think, what kind of stand out for me was that I didn't come to them wanting to be an employee. I always try to come to them where I could bring something more in value. You know what I'm saying? So the way I take it was, if someone's bringing value to you and you bring him in as an employee, you're cutting the value that person could have just brought you.
Right.
Because now you're putting them in with just your regular employees. And they took a chance. And I always tell them, you know, he took a chance on me, because people are like, oh yeah, well, he just hired you to be a subcontractor. Yeah, but when you hire a subcontractor, as a business owner, you have to have trust in that person, that person's gonna do a good job, and they're gonna come back and fix whatever it is. Because me as a sub, if I do a tub wrong, it's still on me. You know, I still have to go back and fix it, whatever it is. And a lot of subs don't want to do that. They just want to get paid.
How you came into this business in the first place.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
hired a sub
Yep.
that screwed you over, and you had jobs that instead you ended up passing over because you had nobody you can trust, and then you had to ask a group of strangers. You'd rather ask a group of strangers when you were in Spain than the guy that screwed you over already and made you invest and do all this. Like, it was a lucky situation where it worked out for you in the long run, because now you're trained in a different space and we're here now. But at the time, that put a lot of strain on you because somebody screwed you over and ghosted you.
I feel like you
Now you have your choice.
You
You can
learn-
do the same thing, or you can be a man about it and say, dude, I screwed up, let me just go fix it real quick.
Shit happens.
I feel like you learned what not to do because of the
Yeah.
experience you had with the sub that you
Yeah,
tried to sub
it
out.
taught me to take my prep work serious. Because I was like, the guy that I subcontracted didn't take it serious and it hurt me so bad to now where I'm to the point, mind you, it could still cost me time on the tub, but my mentality, since it's so, that was so rooted into me, like, bro, I do not want to waste doing 6 tubs again, especially when I'm with Daniel, I'm doing 6, 7, 8 tubs at a time. So I can afford to skip out on the prep just because I want to save some time. So I go in my prep. And it could mean that I'm a little bit slower, but the way I came into them, and like I said, they were okay with giving me just regular work. Like they were like, okay, if you want to be a regular employee, come in as a regular employee. But I still had that what if, man, what if? And then that's when they proposed a subcontract. To me at first, I was like, man, subcontract work. I was looking at it with a closed mind.
Yeah.
A percentage, this and that. And I was like, you know what? What if again? What if by me doing this kind of work at the beginning, it's gonna take me further ahead in the long run? Because one thing, he took a chance on me, and I always tell him that I'm super grateful for that because at that time, I was okay with me leaving what I had built. And he was like, why don't you just do sub work? Now, he allowed me to keep working what I'm doing and still work with them, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where no one does that. You know, he could have just taken advantage of it. Yeah, just go as an employee, but to me, that went deeper than that. You know, I'm not sure if that's just me, my mindset, whatever it is. But I took it as he believed, just by me talking to him, by you talking to him, he believed that, and he told me, if you stay in this field 2 more years, you're gonna get ahead.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he told me without knowing. And then that stuck with me. So he rather chose to take a chance on me giving me sub work than to turn me into one of his employees. And we've actually, luckily, you know, me working with them, we've been able to take this, just this relationship further along because now it's to the point where if he sends me somewhere, he knows he's not gonna receive a call from me. And if he does, it's because it's something out of my hand.
It's like true B2B operations now. So it's like, it's a lot more, and this is something that it's kind of segues into what we want to talk about.
Literally
with the
just the
management stuff.
same thing.
But like, this is the idea we're proposing. It's like when Joshua was at one of my job sites, as far as everybody who has eyes is concerned, he's with Bathtub guys.
Yep.
He wears the shirts, he knows the process, and in a way, you're kind of like the first authorized installer outside of like owning a location, right? And so, but like there's benefits to it. Obviously, we get work in places sometimes. That was in New Smyrna Beach. Like, it's like 2 hours from here, an hour and change. But, you know, we go, we service it, and I can't have my guys always go over there to fulfill every single thing. They were there doing part of the contract, you were there doing another part of it. But you still have your own company, and you're there servicing those things. We showed you how to use the product, and you know, when I'm with Bathtub guys, we're using this, and I'm representing them
I
there.
think it just comes out of respect. Because
Mhm.
I've worked with a lot of subcontractors that don't care and they go in with their shirts, they do this. You hire flooring people, you hire painters, and they still go in with their, you know, regular work t-shirts. In their mindset, a lot of those people don't see anything wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I always did, you know, because
Well, because you
I
have a
feel-
business too,
and
right?
because I feel that I didn't own to be there.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't my work that got me to that hotel. It was your work, your dedication to them. So by you taking the chance on me and believing me, I felt like if I was to step over that and take, because I could have just been like every subcontractor. Oh yeah, I'm with JM Multi-Service Pros. I'm here to do this work on behalf of Bathtub guys, and that's how a lot of guys do it. Sadly, it is. Now, intentionally, I'm putting my, because people want to say no, but intentionally, they're putting their name out there because now the management knows, hey, we're hiring Bathtub guys, but this other company is doing the work. So now they're coming in with their mindset. Hopefully, in one of the meetings, they remember me,
Mm-hmm.
and I get another one out of that. To me, that's not showing respect to you.
That's also, it's biting one of the hands that's feeding you.
correct.
And it's like, not the only one, but like, again, how do you build something successful? Having multiple streams to pull from, right? It's the same reason why in the management thing, like RBS is there getting pretty much, they get leads. We get leads. We will send them to you, but I mean, if you mess up, we're just not gonna do business with you.
Yeah, if you do a bad job because, you know, whatever, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said did a bad job. But if you have a mistake and you go back and fix it, like, whatever, your tub peels, you get a call back, you've gotta go back and fix it. You go back and fix it, we're gonna keep feeding you. The company says, dude, this guy came in dressed like a homeless person.
Yeah.
I have no interest in, like, stop sending guys here like that. We're never gonna send you work again.
Yeah.
And if all you've trained on is our products, that's it.
That's it.
That's the end for you. Like, you should, like, to me, I always look at it in terms of, like, punishing people that don't follow that don't follow through with, like, good intentions. The ultimate punishment in this space is being exiled from being able to use the product or be a part of it when that's all you know.
Yeah.
So we should be rewarding anybody that's working hard and doing the right thing, and we should not be associating ourselves with that. You really think, like, in general, as we grow and we do better, it's not gonna hurt us that you skipped out on one tub because there's another guy waiting behind the corner that wants to take your space, and you're just gone if that's the way you want to treat us.
And it's just the reality.
Or you can be here. We
People
could
need
all
to
be
accept
friends.
that life is hard. I mean, it's not easy. People nowadays don't want to hear, oh, if you don't do a good job, guess what? You're fired. I'm gonna go get another one.
Oh.
Why? Because everybody's now is so. Oh, because
You were conditioned for that the last 10 years, but that shit's over.
Yeah.
What do you think's happening
People-
right now? People are just like, bye. I guarantee you there are 10 people waiting at my front door tomorrow.
People don't
Take
want to
your
take
spot.
accountability, and that's, again, circles back to everything. It's like, what we're trying to do is, instead of, like, realistically, we are offering to absorb some of that accountability, but with qualified people,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, we want to make sure we're
Yeah.
putting the right investment in there.
Exactly.
Our
But-
time is that.
And what we're doing is, like, for example, if we're popping up a place in Michigan or something, like, you know, we're talking to the customer, we're taking that initial call, we're closing the job, we're providing that customer service that some people struggle with, especially in the beginning, and just like you said before, giving you a strong foundation to start from. And then on top of that, you have a product that's pretty kick-ass that no one else has in your area, better health implications, and you're saving a lot of material on prep and time and stuff. The whole package, as we lay it out, the more and more I think about it, it's like guys are pretty much going to be making the same or more money and just be able to offer a better product, regardless of if they pay us 25% or not. Like, you know, like, you can not do it, and you know, you make $100,000 a year, but if you're spending 25 of it on filters for your mask, I mean, why not just have somebody handle the leads for you? Why not have somebody running the ads for you? Why not have somebody handling your customer care? And on top of that, why not be under the umbrella of an established brand that's going to open doors? The same reason why you don't go and just put your shirt on when you're over there is because you want to provide a good service to us. Like, in that setting, we're your customer. You want to provide a good service to us so that the next time Bathtub guys get something, we call you again, right?
Correct.
And it's the same thing, just bigger, right? Like, if we do a good job here, and now we get a call from another state, and you're under the umbrella, you're gonna want that. So we'll be able to provide that for people. So that's one of the things that, you know, in the packages, I always, every single time I've talked to somebody to this point, I don't even really mention the first tier. I mention that package, and then I gauge where their interest is, right?
Right.
If they're completely out of, like, oh, I don't need all that stuff, then I'll start talking about the other one. But I'm gonna tell you, nobody except for one person had any like questions of, like, is the value there, or, like, is it worth it? They're like, well, yeah, I'd rather be Bathtub guys. I'd rather be able to brand myself under there, and I'd rather have a secretary answer the phone, because when I'm in the tub, I can't do it. Or some of them are larger operations where it's like, yeah, that'll free me up to go canvas and get bigger jobs, and I don't have to talk to Mary about her tub. Like there's someone for that.
Right.
And again, laying a solid foundation is what we're doing with this. And we're looking at different ways. Me and Patrick talked a little bit before you got here of how this could look in different ways, because there was an operation with like 17 techs that they just kind of don't want to change their name.
Yeah.
They want a way to get access, right? And you know, me and him were like, you know, like we can do something like this where, hey, we'll make you an authorized installer. Come in and train on it. When you're on a job site and it's one of our jobs, you're under the Bathtub Guys moniker at that point.
So why don't you, I know we all know what we're talking about, and we've spent a lot of time in the last 3 months or so formulating this idea and how we can all get together and do this. What makes sense? How can we afford to do it? How can you afford to do it? And how can we all work together on it? So I think I have a good grasp on what we were talking about when we got here.
Yep.
And I'd be happy to explain all that, but I think it holds a little bit better value if you explain the management side of it that we've worked through first, and then I can explain, you know, back end, you know, maintaining and kind of being the sub type roles afterwards. But I think it holds more value if you explain the management process, how we, you know, how it looks on day 1, day 5, day 1000.
Yeah, we actually have it written on the board there.
Yeah, so we drew it out. Yeah, we just marked it out. So, yeah, we're like the first day, if you decided we found a good candidate, which there'd be a vetting process.
Yep.
Right, which we would look at financials to make sure you're a good fit and that you have a track record of some sort of success.
And that we're not gonna bankrupt you. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
another thing. It's like, we don't wanna just go with a guy who's making 10 grand a year. This is for somebody who wants to get to the next level, but you're not starting for absolute zero. This specific aspect of the management where we're talking about us taking over part of operations for you, right?
So if we wind it back just a bit, I see
Yeah, so on the
what we've
left,
got on the board.
the left would be their orientation schedule.
Yep.
And
then-
this is our schedule to develop the actual systems itself. So what the person investing into the management structure, when they come here, what they're gonna
So,
receive.
but before that, what is the management structure?
So the
'Cause I don't know that anybody outside of this room is really
Yeah.
Yeah,
really versed on it.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
we've
what
kind
are
of
these
been
guys?
discussing in detail
Yeah.
how we envision it to go.
The way I think it's gonna work the best is gonna be, if you come into Bathtub Guys Management, we're gonna have a dedicated account person for you.
Correct.
What they're gonna do is they're gonna handle incoming leads for you. Those leads are gonna be processed through our Google Ads, our proven Google Ads framework that we know works. How do I know it works? Because we plugged it into Tampa and turned Tampa from 30 grand a month to like 55, like this, you know, so we know it works and it's repeatable. And then from there, those leads will be closed by a dedicated account specialist that knows your area. They know what you want to charge, and they know how to book the jobs. They know how to deal with your staff. So think of it as like a middleman that's there, that's dedicated to making sure that everything gets handled the way it needs to be handled. They're trained on sales, they're trained on customer service, and those are pain points for a lot of people starting. From there also, you know, you're getting access to any Tubcast products. That's our primers, top coats, any future stuff. We have some stuff that we're working on with ceramic coating and the innovation in the future. You're getting brand presence. What does that mean? Merch. You're getting, you know, decals for vehicles. We can send you the proofs if you want to get vehicles wrapped and like truly just engulf yourself in that. What that's going to do is, if you become a Bathtub Guys location, it helps strengthen our brand and in turn gets more opportunity for you to do larger scale projects. And you know, brand recognition goes a long way. That's the reason why, like Patrick said earlier, people there's all sorts of phone companies, but people go to Apple. So if you want to be part of something bigger, a bigger network, this is definitely one of the things for you. And again, another thing too is one-on-one support, especially in the beginning. You're going to be talking to people who are doing it. right? Me, Jonathan, you're gonna have access to people like Julian, who's gonna go and take over Jacksonville. And, any questions about the product itself, application, I'm sure Pat would be more than happy to answer any of those questions. And pretty much just have a well-oiled machine from day one. You sign on, we'll run through orientation. On a Monday, Tuesday, we're doing shop training. Third day, we're kind of giving you a presentation of what to expect, like a crash course in sales. We'll do some in-field stuff. And Friday, it will be admin training, training you on the system. So we're gonna have a phone system. Everything's gonna be trackable. We're gonna be able to do quality control on your calls and make sure that if you need to talk to a customer, that it's being done the way we would do it, so that the brand is all cohesive. And then also, on our systems, as far as booking jobs, scheduling, we're gonna do that, but you need to know, obviously, how to look at the schedule, how to comprehend it. We'll teach you all of that, and then we'll bring you in for a podcast and kind of like final questions. So if you have any little questions that we need to, answer and get you information that's tailored to you after you've done anything, we will make sure that you have all the tools necessary to when you go back, you're ready to go, and we're ready to start this thing and get you going. And while all this is going on, this crash course of Monday through Saturday, we already are in the background running those ads that are proven. So when you come back, there's work ready to go. So we're trying to essentially make it a thing to where when you sign on, it's like, okay, at that point, we're hitting the ground running and we're starting the work that's gonna get you to that next level.
So kind of to, sorry, still getting over the sickness, but I'm almost there.
You're good.
So to clarify what we're doing, essentially, I'm a refinisher in Cincinnati right now. I have a couple guys on the road. What you're offering me is to take over my sales work. You're offering to help me with my payment processing, with my organization. So we'll be able to have essentially our own version of Jobber.
Yep.
Our own private CRM that's Bathtub guys heavy, and it's proven through actual technicians using it in this specific space.
Yep.
So we'll have shared client lists, we'll be able to get some bigger customers. So for me, I don't have a front end worker. I am the one that takes the calls as as that goes. So you'll be able to have an in-house team do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to run the operation, and essentially I can manage my team, manage my inventory, and do my work. And is the plan to take a percentage of my business to do that?
No, so we will take a percentage of sales. We're not gonna take a percentage of the business. You own your business 100%. We will, put you under an agreement with the term, and it's your choice whether or not you want to renew. But we're gonna make it so good that you are gonna want to stick with it, or eventually partner in some other type of way. But I do think that with number one, the strength of the material, and I say this not just like literally how strong it is, but like the no smell, all the benefits that come with it, on top of streamlining your whole operations. That 25% is going to be made up with all the value we're providing, really quick. And one of the quickest ways you're going to feel it is not having to buy nearly as much PPE, not having to buy nearly as much prep material, and not throwing money into the void with ads. Because a lot of refinishers just pop up Google ads themselves and they don't know. We have a top of the line management company that manages Google ads for us here in Orlando, and it's just a matter of adding you to that. They're proven ads. Between Orlando and Tampa, we're getting about 200 leads a month. And I mean, the only problem is we can't fill them fast enough. Like literally that is the issue right now in Tampa. It's like we have 2 techs working every single day, double booked. And if we had 2 more, they'd just be added to the list. So what we're making up with that is in the value we're providing here with everything. You're not gonna have callbacks. For stuff like peels and stuff like that, like those days are gone with stuff like this. People calling you because they dropped their shower head, it's not happening anymore. And again, all these things added together, I mean, you're gonna save a lot more than, than that 25% is costing you, 100%.
Yeah, as long as we up you 25% of business, you're breaking even.
Exactly.
And your responsibilities
You're-
just dropped.
You're gaining that, but the price is going to go down with that, and your free time is gonna go through the roof.
100%,
You're either gonna go do the work or you're gonna manage your business.
Yeah, and in the beginning, guys need to choose, you know
So-
what I mean?
With that, we're saying, so essentially, this is our upper level management package. This is the largest thing we're gonna do. I think when I get back home, I'm gonna sit and just make 3 detailed videos that just say
Yeah.
everything very clearly, and we can pop slides in the background.
Yep.
But for those of you guys that are listening to us now, we're looking to have kind of 3 levels of what we're doing. This is the top tier. This is, I don't feel like talking to customers. I don't feel like hiring somebody. I don't feel like having an office. I just want to go do my work. I want my techs to be able to do it. I want to buy product, and then I want to go do my job. But at the end of the day, I still want to own my own business. I don't want someone telling me what to do, what I have to do, and all this.
Mm-hmm.
I want Mike's Refinishing doing business as Bathtub Guys, because no one cares about Mike and Mike's Refinishing. They care about this huge global network that, has Hilton contracts or Greystar contracts. It's easier for me to get into this. How am I going to get into a major place by myself? I'm not. But Bathtub Guys is already there.
Yeah.
And all we have to do is say, we're also in Houston.
Yep.
And that's when the people in Houston are going to say, well, I trust that team. That's why Miracle Method gets the jobs right now, because the neighboring company says, hey, do you have anybody in Orlando? Yep, we sure do. Okay, call them. Bye.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. That's full service. We've discussed what happens if I'm a mid-level company or it's a husband and wife team, and we're trying to be a little tighter on our spend. 25% to 25% of sales pays for us to hire a specific representative to run your branch, to schedule your guys, to do your job for you. You don't want to pay that much? Don't. We have a 10% level where you still DBA as our team.
Access to the products.
You get access to the product, you're DBAing as us, you take your own calls, you book your own jobs. What you're gonna get with every package is a weekly, we're calling it like a GSR session where we'll put you with Jonathan, we'll put you with myself, we'll put you with Daniel. We're just gonna talk about your business for 15 minutes to a half an hour. We have our first location that's being added this week. What we're doing with Victor Gonzalez, who's in Augusta, Georgia, or North Augusta, South Carolina, is being added. What we're gonna do with him every week is we're gonna talk. He's having trouble hiring people right now. What's the number one thing we're gonna talk about? The best way to hire people, how we can vet them, how we can drug test them or background check them or whatever. How we can do that as a collective. That's what we're gonna talk about for our weekly meeting. We're gonna talk about improving sales. He doesn't need us to have a reception person or a salesperson for it. He can go out and do it himself. So he has base level 1, and it's perfect for him. He's already got jobs booked into April. And as he grows, he's gonna get bigger processes, bigger products, bigger jobs. So that's kind of the 2 levels, right? That level is 10%. What 10% gives for us is it gives us more to grow the brand nationally and make these bigger accounts. Now, you're still your own business. You're still, in this case, you're lettering your vehicles as Bathtub Guys. You're wearing all the gear, you're building it all up, right? Just like that. And we're helping train you on some of the things that are working for everybody. If you have a brilliant idea that you do, we're gonna work with you, we're gonna share the idea, and then we're gonna grow. It's the same as what you were saying with some of the prep work stuff. Your prep is bulletproof it makes a product that sticks forever more bulletproof. If you can't damage it with a hammer and you can't peel it off because it's sticking to something properly, then how are you gonna wreck it?
Yeah.
So those are all things that are part of that. Now, what I was saying during the last break, I had a couple of bigger customers. I've shout out to Paramount Regrade in Kansas City. They've got 18 guys. They have a big company that they already operate as by themselves. They're in tons of apartments. People know their name. They're a big company. Like why and how is it feasible for them to change their name to Bathtub Guys? Well, no one said you have to change your name. You can still be part of the group, right? You're an exclusive member still. What, in this circumstance, the third option, it's the most costly for you, but at the same time, it gives you access to the product in spaces you're already in. And what you can do in that space is we'll add your location and we'll use you as a ghost kitchen, essentially. We talked about how restaurants on DoorDash, Mr. Beast Burger, several others, there is no Mr. Beast Burger.
Yeah.
It's Chili's making a very specific thing in a very specific packaging with very specific material, and we'll add our own location there. We'll manage the location, we'll advertise the location, we will get the most profits out of that location because we have to do all the work and take all the responsibility, but we'll be able to book the work, have you be trained, and then you go with your, with your Bathtub Guys hat and
As an authorized installer.
your authorized installer sticker for your vehicle, and boom, you can do all the jobs that we book. And if you want to change your package later, change your package. In that space, in that level, you gain access to the material. You'd have access to our software platform with a fee. You'd have
they still get some of the benefits of the brand too, because we will be branding in the area. But then on top of that, we are pretty much subcontracting you the jobs as long as you represent us well.
The way we would do that, the way your price structure will work for that. I know I feel like most people are like, oh, but how bad are you going to rip me off?
Yeah.
All this stuff. The way that we talked about working with independent installers is the way somebody did it with me before, where we'll talk to you, we'll find out what you need to make to be happy with it. If we were your best customer, how much would you charge us? If you're, your market matters, right? Because then we won't sell jobs. Like if you're in a market that costs $400 to do tubs, and the best you can offer us is $400, we'll sell them for more than $400, and then we'll keep the difference to pay our representatives for our ads. But we'll be able to tell our hotel and motel and apartment complex friends that yes, we do have a location in that area, and as long as we're working together happily, we'd be very happy to do it that way. If you guys want to add a second location, keep your own brand doing specific jobs, and then separate it and build an actual managed location where you manage yourself for the 10%, or you do a full-on service 25%. It's gonna work just the same. So either you're telling me, listen, we get 400 in this market, I'll do them for you guys for 3 as long as you give me at least 10 a month, 20 a month. We'll get you 10 or 20 a month. We'll probably get you 50.
Yeah.
So when you start adding techs, what's gonna happen to you? Right now, you take 6 months to train a guy. You get him out there spraying, or you pay and send him to school to do it. What happens when he comes back and says, hey, I need $35 an hour or I quit? I'm gonna just do my own thing because I'll just be able to do that. Thanks for the training, bye.
Yeah.
Let's face it, guys, this is the most common thing we face.
You're getting rid of the revolving
It's the
door.
worst.
That's the worst.
And bigger companies, Miracle Method training a bunch of guys. They all go out on their own when they're done there.
Yep.
There's only so much money you can make as a worker. You have to be the boss to get to the next level. For us internally, It's gonna be all growth structure. Hey, I'm in Kansas City, but I'd like to expand to St. Louis.
Mhm.
We don't have anybody in St. Louis, great. My best tech is going to manage my second branch in St. Louis.
And we're hoping to wow you guys so much, even the partner locations that have authorized installers, that you guys are gonna wanna come on.
Mhm.
And realistically, the only downfall of it is that if we see that it's a crazy market, we will give you first dibs to come along and partner with us. But if not, we might just turn it on and do it ourselves. That's one of the things too, is that that's the only.
It's the downside of just being a
It's
sub.
the only downside, but that's the downside of subbing work in general.
Yeah.
But I think, especially for a larger operation, we have between both places 10 technicians. The roll-on implications, the cost saving implications, the PPE saving implications, all the stuff we're doing, you're lowering your liabilities so much that the savings are worth it.
The last thing I'll say about that loop, which I was going with techs leaving you,
Mm-hmm.
they can't leave you in this structure.
They're only trained for one
So
product.
instead of training somebody for 6 months, first off, you're gonna get all the mid-level and the lower level jobs just as well as you'll get the higher level. We're using the product in Disney. We're using the product at Motel 6.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't
We're
matter.
using it at both places. We're offering different services that, of course, you'll learn how to perform
Yep.
here. I mean, more material is more expensive. That's
Mm-hmm.
how you can work in different tiered jobs.
We'll also
But-
show you how to package it depending on the context,
Of course.
right? Which is something that you're limited because the process has to be a certain way to be done right with urethane traditional
And
systems.
the point that comes of it is when instead of training somebody for 6 months to spray, you're training a prep guy for a couple of months to learn how to prep the best, and then he can go out and roll in the lower end places.
And produce right
He
away.
can get 1,000 units under his belt, and then he becomes an intermediate or a level 2. You're working your way up to mastery, you're getting pay raises. It's all part of what we're trying to help teach you in pulling in new refinishers and giving them a roadmap to how I make $100,000. If you can make 100 grand as an installer, you should be pretty happy. That's a good tradesman job, and that's the level you should be shooting for.
Mhm.
It's achievable, it's a plan, it takes time and development, but if you become a master installer, that's what you can do. And guess where you can quit your job because you want your money now, and where you can go start your own business and take over in this space? You can't, because you can't buy the material unless you're one of the exclusive installers, and there will not be 5 in Orlando, there'll be 1.
Yep.
There will not be 5 in Kansas City, there'll be
We
1.
want you guys to have your edge because that is part of why this whole thing is attractive. It's like being the only game in town that can do it. Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of work just by default for being able to do that. Now, I do want to say though, not to scare anybody out there, but we will vet you. And if you suck, and we lay down the groundwork, it is as simple as plugging someone else in. So don't come here if you're not serious. But if you're about building your business and you're about bettering it and want to try something different that no one else is doing with a product that's different and that no one else is using, I think this is the perfect situation for
If
you.
you're a one-man show, the full level management makes so much sense for you. You'll just be full, you'll
Even
you'll
a
fill your
three-
schedule, you'll make more than you're making today.
Even a 3 to 4 man operation that's
And you're out.
struggling with getting people trained up for the next step. It's
As the owner, you should be doing training
exactly.
and making sure your team and your work and quality control
100%.
and making sure you guys have everything.
Because a 17 tech operation is probably making 400 grand a month, so that's a different
They're doing
situation.
just fine,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But when you're right there about to really build it,
Just him calling me though, it goes to show you that people don't want, it's not all about money, it's not all about yourself. He's a selfless guy
Mhm.
his name's Scott. Scott, if you're listening, it's heartfelt. He had multiple operations, he has a young family, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna focus on my hometown and build it up
Mhm.
so I can be with my family. And now he's like, man, I care about my techs. I just want them to use something good.
Yep.
I'm sick of this.
I had a
Sick
similar
of people
guy,
in
the
their
guy,
50s and 60s being sick.
100%. The guy from Rhode Island, similar situation. He was literally telling me the same thing. He was like, I just don't want my guys to be. This stuff is poison. He's like, he literally told me I almost left this industry multiple times because my doctor tells me that I shouldn't inhale any of this stuff. That it's toxic.
It's sad and no one cares to say the truth. But like, in all honesty, if you sprayed tubs from the time you're 25 with urethane and you know you missed plenty of mask days or you use dirty masks and stuff, the shit goes through your pores and you're in the car with it.
Yep.
You bring it home to your kids and your animals. But like, you start at 25, 30 and you spray tubs with urethane for 20, 30 years. At age 50 to 60, and of course you were getting cash because how else are you gonna, you can't knock the hustle until then. What happens when you're 50, 60 and you physically can't walk up the stairs carrying that stuff? And now your brain's rotted away. What are you gonna do for work? You work as a greeter at Walmart, or you collect SSI. Like, that's the end of it.
Yeah, and it's
Or you have like there are painters that I see in their 80s,
Yeah.
normal painters,
yeah,
because they're using paint that doesn't hurt their body.
exactly.
They're still strong enough to carry the friggin' ladder and climb up and paint a house.
It's why the cabinet industry changed to like water based. It's really like the same kind of thinking. It's like
Everything's transitioning
Exactly.
to
Safer
stuff that's safe.
No, we're killing ourselves and we're killing people. And if it's a business that owns multiple people, that employs multiple people, you're either hungry for profit or you don't believe, or you're just somebody that just doesn't believe in the future of the game. But it's not fair to your guys to take advantage of them and be like, yo, I'm just gonna grind them out. I know people that do day labor in like concrete businesses, and it's just like dude, how bad can I, like, in my mind, I'm like, the background music is, how bad can I beat the shit out of this guy today, so that I can be, so I can go to Ruth's Chris tonight. Like, that would be how I would feel. I'd be like, oh man, I give my guys days off, or make sure that they have work when there's nothing. I know you guys do it too.
of
Like,
course.
there's no work in December, right? You already spoke to that. Like, you went away. It's a slower time of year. I asked you, like, yeah, we give people a couple weeks off and take care of them, because we know they're gonna be hurting at some, come November, they're gonna be hurting from that year of spray, and you feel bad about it. And you're like, man, you know what? I'm gonna make sure that you and your family are taken care of, and get some time off, get some rest, build up. That's what it's about here, man. We're about each other. We're not about hating and arguing in chat groups about fucking stupid nonsense. Like,
100%.
why can't we just work together?
Everything that I've done
I fucking hate you.
the podcast, everything like that I've done has been from the angle of helping people, and this is, to me, this is just a natural transition. You know what I mean? Like, I think that most people put your pride aside and really look at your business. A lot of, like 90% of tub refinishing companies are one-man, two-man operations. You benefit from being under this umbrella way more
Don't
than
be swayed. We want you.
Yeah.
We want you specifically.
But at the same
as
time,
long as you get good reviews in here.
exactly,
Sorry.
and we like, again, there will be some accountability held there and stuff. But what we really want to do is just help people get to the next level. I think this is a really good way to go about it, and it's something that not a lot of people offer. And again, we could have gone the easy route of just selling paint to anybody, but that's not going to change the fact that the ABC refinishing company doesn't have the same resources that we have. Because at the end of the day, if we could be really like staunch and just be like, we're just going to pop up everywhere and we do everything under our moniker, you know what I mean? But we want to help people, and we want to scale something that's worth scaling, and I think we all kind of agree that we're stronger together as a unit. So if this is something that interests you guys, feel free. You can email us, service@bathtubguys.com is my email. You can also text me. Phone number is 689-271-9934. Shoot me messages on Instagram, TikTok, all of that. People have done it already. But I
Same
think,
for me, guys. If
Yeah.
you have questions about products, you know, we're all working together on this.
Mhm.
So my cell is 803-318-0004. I'm happy to text with you anytime. I'm happy to answer any questions. Like, it's part of what we're doing, and it's part of this just changing mindset from let's just beef about it and yo, let me undercut this guy.
Transparency, because you
Come on,
guys are
man.
allowing that transparency to people that want to come in. You know, they don't have to worry about, hey, if I come in, are they going to do something shady or no. We're being transparent with what you guys are wanting to do.
Yeah.
Now, it's up to them whether they want to or not.
yeah,
Last thing about that, like, aspect of undercutting and bouncing around, we've had plenty of conversations more recently when it comes to like warranties and protection of jobs.
Yeah.
It's argumentative with the customer, but why do we have to keep adding all these extra layers of warranty stuff? We have to add that, which no one else does. You buy an iPhone, it's either do you want to buy a protection plan or do you want to fuck right off when you drop it on the ground?
Yeah.
It's the end of the story.
Yeah.
There's no question like, well, I'm gonna buy an Android because they give a better. No, they don't.
yeah,
None of these people, nothing. A car, no. Like, well, I'll buy a Kia because it gives me a 10-year warranty. Well, people buy other cars that give 1-year warranties and 3-year warranties.
and then they
It
add
has
it on if
nothing
they
to do
want.
with that. Yeah, the people are needing these extra comments and warranties in the bathtub space because of liars in the space that are like, well, I give a 5-year warranty that protects against absolutely nothing. Also, if you get a chip, give me a call back and I'll charge you $150 to come out and do the chip repair.
Even though the tub was 300.
Right, but you have to pay me to come back out there. And it is understandable in a one-man show space because he can't pay his bills if he's going around doing chip repairs for free that you damaged.
Yeah.
Let's not sugarcoat any of it. Even with urethane, you damaged it, not the installer. It doesn't matter. Joe Hack, unless he doesn't wash the tub at all, he didn't damage that tub. You know, he sprayed it on smooth, and the only reason that it's his fault is if it's peeling around the drain or something, and he did terrible prep work. But like most people, if you get a chip though, how am I supposed to go fix your chip for free when I'm by myself? I have to get my check for today to pay my bills, then I gotta get my check to pay to keep my business open, and then I have to do your job for free after I'm tired and did all that? No. That's why they don't show up.
Yeah.
Or they charge to show up.
100%.
But you be part of this gang, you're in a spot where you're gonna get far less damage calls. I mean, I think you guys have been full service for a while, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, you've had 1 or 2 callbacks on Tubcast in like 4 months, and one of them, I don't even know if there's 2, but I know of one specific one where the lady left hair dye in the shower with her nasty hairball
Yeah.
and called them back and said, hey, I want my money back and I want you to fix it. That's the only one. It was a 2-second repair, but like, dude, you're just like, hey, let me intentionally stain this, and I can't believe you take advantage of a woman like
I
that.
think what this
Get the fuck
does,
outta here.
what this does more than anything is that it makes it a lot easier for guys, especially like you said, to deal with those things. And we also have something. I don't know if now's the good time to talk about it, but we'll talk about it soon.
Let's talk about it when we're with Victor.
Yeah, I think there's something that we're cooking up that's going to be good as like far as being able to offer a really strong warranty in commercial settings, and part of it has to do with like a reoccurring service that we're discussing, because to Patrick's credit, and it's accurate, when you go out and you buy an expensive piece of technology, they literally are like, do you want to protect it or not? And it's up to you to decide. In the residential space, it's a little different because it's a house, whatever, but in the commercial space where we know what they're gonna do to those tubs, maybe this is something that I think it's what the industry needs, is telling them, hey, we know you're gonna mess them up, so let us come every now and then. But we'll talk some more about that at a different
We
time.
basically have a product that we'll explain in more depth and show off, but essentially we'll be able to offer a yearly maintenance plan that provides a lifetime warranty for every customer, including commercial.
Yep.
You can be a Motel 6, you can be the Four Seasons, you can never spray your tub again, and we can make sure that we don't lose our customer forever after every job.
Yep.
If done right, if you want to do it that way, all customers that I've talked to have been extremely receptive. I actually pitched it to the national place that I
I think
was
it's
saying.
a-
Because I was like, really? He said, and again, we'll dig into the specific product and stuff, but he told me we have to get a 3-year warranty that's real, or we can't budget the job properly and it will be a pass. So if we can't do that, it won't work. I said, honestly, what if we could budget it in for one expense and then pay us as if we're pest control and we do a yearly service one time and that's it. He
AC
said,
repair technicians,
So,
electricians,
I
they do
buy
this.
it now and I never have to pay the full price again, even if it's ruined and my tenant maliciously lit it on fire.
Yep.
You never have to pay full price again.
Yep.
This is an annual service. We make sure it stays new forever.
Yep.
The rest of the house might fall to shit, but the tub's gonna be brand new and perfect. This is an inexpensive way for us to make sure that you're gonna grow your business as well. And that also is going to be, whether
Part
you're
of
an
this whole
authorized installer or you're a managed location, it's only for us. I'm not gonna sell this product on, for DIY at all. This is gonna be pro only, so very special.
Something to look forward to for you guys. Any final words, guys, before we leave this one? We're an hour into this one, man. People are gonna get tired of hearing our voices.
If anybody wants to jump on and ask live questions, we're still live, but
We'll
we'll
still be
probably
live,
end this
but
one.
I'm gonna end the recording, because if not, final words.
Nope, thank you, brother, for coming in. Thank you,
Appreciate
Pat,
you
for
guys
coming
having
in
me.
and breaking down some of the questions we've been getting.
My final
Hearing from
word,
the source.
make tub reglazing great again. Let's do it, guys. All right, guys, have a good day. Thank you, everybody, for coming through, and hopefully you guys watched all the podcasts, because this was a lot of fun and a lot of cool information. Thanks, Josh, for being here. Thank you, Patrick. We're gonna end it on there, and see you guys in the next one.
Yes, sir. Oh, solid. Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions online? We're still live. We'll probably be clicking them off any second now.
Now, we got one viewer I'm the only viewer on YouTube right now.
We got
I'm the only one on Instagram.
TR, something from Joshua. There's only one viewer there.
One viewer on YouTube is probably you as well.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We did have viewers there.
Yeah.
While we were talking about him subbing, one of our subs from Tampa was watching.